All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race of 2026, and we are at the High Banks at the Daytona International Speedway for this 250-mile, 100-lap race. Under the lights, we've got a stacked field on hand. We've got a former three-time Cup Series champion by the name of Tony Stewart. We've got Cletus McFarland, who I'm sure many of you in this chat will be rooting for here today, running his first career truck race tonight. He'll also be running the ARCA race tomorrow afternoon. Travis Pastrana is back in NASCAR, back at Daytona. We haven't seen him in a couple years since he ran the Daytona 500 with 2311 Racing a few years ago, and now he's in a truck for the first time in a long time. A couple of Cup Series regulars as well. Michael McDowell, Carson Hocevar will be starting up towards the front of the field, and obviously our usual Truck Series regulars, many of which that we'll see tonight going to be competing for the championship. With this being the first race of the year, I'm going to be making my championship and race win predictions for all three series as we get into these streams. I'll wait on that until we get through the starting lineup for today's race and then get closer to the drop of the green flag. Bam Hall, Connor Berg, Joe Rochester, thanks for tuning in. You guys are the first in the chat down below. Got to get the chat up on my phone real quick so I can see you guys there. Don't have to go back and forth between screens. All right, there we go. Yeah, going to be a lot of fun watching this race here today. Terry Lewis, thanks for tuning in. Our like goal will be 100 likes for today's stream. In the FS1 booth tonight, we got Jamie Little, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano. Short Fuse Drummer, Modern Genetics, thanks for tuning in. Our third day already of Speed Week. We're about halfway home. 3 down. After tonight, we have 3 streams to go yet this weekend. Doubleheader tomorrow, ARCA at noon, O'Reilly at 5, and of course the big one, the Daytona 500 Sunday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern start time for us there. The build up to Speed Weeks. Drama at the end of the dual race last night. I didn't see that until I woke up this morning about Anthony Alfredo failing post-race inspection. Therefore, he misses the Daytona 500, and BJ McLeod will get that final transfer spot through duel number 2 last night. Went to bed about half hour after the race was over, and then saw my phone this morning, and the first thing I saw is he got DQ'd. So, crazy. Crazy stuff. AJ Summers, thanks for tuning in. Austin Sullivan. Yes, it is finally time for Truck Series Racing. How's my Friday? Friday's going pretty good. Dean Tate, thanks for tuning in. Logano needs to shave. You talk about the beard? Well, he's definitely shaved the head already. I think the beard looks fine for him. All right, we're going to turn it trackside now as we got the pre-race ceremonies underway.
Father, as we begin this truck season with tonight's race, we honor you as Lord and ask for your blessing of protection over this event and all we do this year. I pray for each driver, their teams, the officials, and safety workers. Thank you for the freedom to be here and for those who make the sacrifices to protect it. Racing brings us joy, and we're grateful for the opportunity to share it together tonight. We ask you to be with us in all we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Broadcast Media Incorporated singer and songwriter, Lucy Scotts.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
All right. No fireworks tonight. Probably saving them for Sunday. Even though it's going to be broad daylight when they're shooting them off, I think they're still saving them for Sunday. Thanks for everybody tuning in here. We just had a pickup of viewers during the National Anthem pre-race ceremonies prior to the drop of the green flag for today's race. If you're just tuning in for the first time, be sure to hit the like button. Helps these streams out a ton. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. We have live commentary NASCAR streams like this every NASCAR race weekend, all season long. Races I go to in person, we upload videos from the grandstand's point of view, basically the highlights of the race. Any other race, obviously, that I don't go to, I'm right here with my ass in this seat, and we will be set to go racing shortly here tonight. Again, 100 laps is our scheduled distance, 250 miles. I think the estimated drop of green flag start time is about 7:50, so about 13 minutes away from then. Robert Goodrich, thanks for tuning in. AJF, H. Holly D, Billy Kramer, Roz, thanks for tuning in. Yes, Tony Stewart is in the field. I see a lot of people mentioning about Smoke tonight. I'm curious to see how he does. Pretty quick in qualifying, top half of the field, 15th. This is, of course, the debut. Well, I should say the re-debut, because it's not really their overall debut, but we haven't seen Dodge in NASCAR in a minute, and this is their first race back with the Truck Series. They're pushing to try to go full-time Cup Series racing next season, which would be the first time since 2012 that we have seen Dodge in NASCAR. So, fourth manufacturer is upon us, and we will see if any of those can go to victory lane today. They got a stacked field because they've got Tony Stewart. They've got Justin Haley, who has won some Daytona races before in NASCAR, Cup, Xfinity, you name it. Brendan Queen, one of the highly touted drivers who will be running full-time this season. Rookie at that, won the ARCA championship last year. And Daniel Dye going to be in the 10 truck yet again, back as he ended up making the playoffs last season. Vinny Tyrell making his debut in the Truck Series tonight. Starting deeper in the field, and that will be the 5 Dodge Ram Truck Series drivers for this evening. Raw Lou, thanks for tuning in. Richard Jones, welcome back. Many of you obviously seen over the last couple of days on the channel, and many more from last season as well. Regine Huddleston, welcome in. Tony Stewart's going to kick him some dirt. We'll see. Yes, Stenhouse is also in the field tonight. I haven't mentioned him. He's starting deep. Nice Motorsports, too. Got 3 current Cup Series drivers. Justin Haley, full-time in Cup the last few years, is obviously going to be in the Truck Series full-time now, so he's a part of the stacked field. Travis Pastrana, Cletus McFarlane, Corey LaJoie, who's part-time in the Cup Series. Failed to make the Daytona 500 last night. Same for Chandler Smith, who is going to be running full-time trucks for Front Row Motorsports again. Which kind of leads us into my predictions for who I think is going to win this race today. I'm taking Chandler Smith. He is a pretty decent super speedway racer. And in the Truck Series in general, I think those Front Row Motorsport Fords are going to be the fastest. Corey Heim and Tricon Garage as a trio dominated this race last season. I don't think that's going to be the case this year with Heim not in this race. So I'm going to end up taking Chandler Smith. Redemption after missing the 500 last night because of a crash late in his dual race. I think he's going to win the truck event. We'll see how that pans out. I wanted to take Michael McDowell for Spire Motorsports as well, but I don't remember Spire running too well at Daytona and Talladega last season. Kyle Busch won at Atlanta in the 7 truck, but it's a little bit different of a package that they run at Atlanta in both the truck and the now O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Felt really bad for Corey last night. Yeah, he had a fantastic race car. It sucks that he was running top 3 the entire race until that final lap, and he gets caught up in a crash and misses the Daytona 500. Fast in qualifying, he missed qualifying on time trials Wednesday night for the 500 by just 4/1000ths of a second to that of Justin Allgaier. So just narrowly missing it, not just as a whole missing the Daytona 500, but 2 days in a row narrowly missing the field. All right, well, drivers are strapping up into their seats right now. And we should get the command to fire engines any second. And then we'll roll through the starting lineup for tonight's race. All right, here we go.
Are you ready for the Fresh from Florida 250? Miss America, join me in saying, driver, start your engine!
I knew they had an all-star cast, and I didn't think we were going to have Miss America on the command to fire engines for tonight's race, along with the all-star cast that will be on the track going for the checkered flag here this evening. We'll go through the starting lineup of the Fresh from Florida 250. Ty Majeski will be starting on the pole after coming so close to a championship last season, second in the overall points in trucks, looking to run it back after winning the title the year before. Michael McDowell from the NASCAR Cup Series will be full-time, obviously there, but running part-time in trucks for Spire this evening. He'll be outside of row number 1. And row 2 will be Tanner Gray alongside Carson Hocevar, another full-time driver at Spire Motorsports in the Cup Series, running part-time in trucks. And also remember that they made a rule change this offseason that there are going to be more drivers from the Cup Series, or you can run more races throughout the Truck and O'Reilly Series season. It was 5. I think it has been bumped up to 8. And it's still only the regular season races, so the chase races are not included. Furthermore, in row number 3, Grant Enfinger and Tyler Ankrum will make up row number 3. Ankrum had a solid run at Daytona last season with a top 5. Grant Enfinger, a former Daytona winner in the Truck Series. In row number 4 will be Caden Honeycutt and Jake Garcia. Honeycutt full-time in the 11 this season, after last year running for Nice Motorsports and finishing out the year with Friesen Hallmar Racing. Made it to the Championship 4, still looking for his first career win, but he's in the truck that won the most races that was driven by the champion Corey Heim a season ago, so we'll see what Honeycutt can do in that ride. Jake Garcia going to be running in the 98 truck full-time this year for Thor Sport Racing. He's been full-time the last 2 years in trucks for Thor Sport in the 13, moving to the 98. Gio Ruggiero and Chandler Smith will round out the top 10 in row number 5. Again, Smith, my pick to win the race, and Gio Ruggiero, runner-up in this race a season ago. Christian Eckes with Cletus McFarland making up row number 6. Cletus making his truck debut tonight. Travis Pastrana is back in NASCAR again at Nice Motorsports. He'll be on the inside of row 7 alongside Taylor Gray, who'll be running for Tricon Garage in the 1 truck this evening. He'll obviously be full-time in Xfinity O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Season hasn't started until tomorrow, so I guess I can get away with calling it Xfinity every once in a while still. Tony Stewart back in action. Obviously full-time retired from NASCAR back in the year 2016, but he is here in the truck race debut for Dodge Ram in the Truck Series, or at least their first race back in a long time. We'll see how he does. He's got his teammate for the night, Justin Haley, who's an accomplished super speedway racer in the Xfinity Series, going to be trying to get a truck win at Daytona this evening. Clay Greenfield with Corey LaJoie will be in row 4. We see LaJoie compete very well. That 75 was driven by Parker Kligerman in this race a season ago. Crossed the start-finish line first, failed post-race inspection, ultimately didn't get the win. So LaJoie not only looking for redemption for the 75 team, but also looking for redemption on himself after failing to make the Daytona 500 over the last 48 hours. John Hunter Nemechek, another full-time Cup driver, will be riding in the 52 truck for Friesen Hallmar. Stuart Friesen still trying to make his way back to NASCAR after that gnarly dirt racing accident he had late last year. Took him out of the last 9 races of the season. Broken pelvis, leg. There was something else in there. I think he might have dislocated his shoulder in that crash. Gnarly accident. Thankfully, he was okay, but still recovering. So he is not going to be starting the season in that truck. We should see him back within the next few months. Dawson Sutton will be on the outside of row number 10 alongside Nemechek. Jason Kitzmiller, who's full-time in ARCA, making his Truck Series race here tonight in the 97. I don't know if it's his debut off the top of my head, but we usually don't see him here. Good opportunity for him. We'll see what he can do. Brennan Queen, the Rookie of the Year contender for trucks, and maybe even a championship contender full-time for Dodge Ram. We'll see what he can do. Won the ARCA championship last season with double-digit wins. Cole Butcher and Stuart Friesen. I was just talking about Friesen. Never mind him. He's in the 52 truck. It looks like the 52's on here twice. That is a 6.2 for John Hunter Nemechek. The font looks almost identical. That threw me in for a loop. Didn't do my homework. Apologize for that. It's early in the season. Nick Lights and Chris Wright will make up row number 13. Row 14, the former two-time truck champion Ben Rhodes alongside Andres Perez. Row 15, Josh Reaume, and another Cup regular, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Good to see Friesen back in the truck tonight. I didn't think he was going to be back already. Daniel Dye with Daniel Hemrick, 2 Daniels, in row number 16, both running full-time in trucks. Frankie Muniz is back again on the inside of row number 17 alongside Spencer Boyd. Muniz had a top 10 in this race last season. Lane Riggs, who's going to be my championship pick for this season, will be inside of row 15 alongside of Jason M. White. And Minnie Tyrell rounds out the field in 37th. We had 44 trucks on the entry list for this weekend. 7 of them went home after qualifying earlier this afternoon. And again, I apologize for that Stuart Friesen buff. I'm surprised nobody corrected me in the chat, to be completely honest. You guys are usually pretty on top of that. And Matt Crafton, yes, he did retire last season. Thomas Roth, thanks for tuning in. Jeff Curry, welcome to the stream. Sue Brown, thanks for tuning in. That was a huge gap. That was one of the biggest gaps I've had on the channel in a minute. It threw me in for a loop because I thought I saw 52. That was a 62. Pretty good that they're able to get a Cup driver in the field for this one. So we have 4 Cup Series drivers running this race. And that's not counting Corey LaJoie, who's part-time. Not counting Justin Haley, who was full-time in Cup last season. Not counting Chandler Smith, who is attempting to make the Daytona 500 this weekend as well. About as stacked of a Truck Series field as you can get. Plus, you got the mix of former truck champions like Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, Lane Riggs, who won a few races last season looking for his first championship. They're dialing up Cletus McFarland from the booth.
Oh, my heart's beating. I feel ready. I feel good. I gotta get close to my good truck. I can tell Bob. Don't ain't supposed to be here. All right, well, we'll be watching you. Have some fun out there. I know you will. Thanks, guys. See ya. I think Cletus.
Quick interview there. Ty Majeski, after being in the 98 truck each of the last few seasons, has moved to the 88 because of Matt Crafton retiring from full-time Truck Series competition at the end of last season. Also, hence the reason why the 98 is now driven by Jake Garcia. A little bit of driver arrangement going on at ThorSport Racing, downsizing from 5 teams to 4 teams in the Truck Series after going winless for the first time in history of their tenure in the Truck Series. Looking for a bounce-back performance. Ty Majeski still finished second in points, was consistent enough, and probably, if you take the sample size of the whole season, minus the old playoff format that we had up until the rebirth of the Chase now this year, I mean, he was probably the 3rd or 4th best truck last season by consistency. He just couldn't find his way to victory lane. D Jerky, thanks for tuning in. Saying Tony Stewart will win it all. We shall see. 62 thumbs up to show appreciation. Yeah. Well, we're almost there. We got 49 likes already. We're almost halfway to the goal and the race hasn't started yet. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that, everybody. Still stage yellows? Yes. Stage yellows still continue. Our stage splits for tonight, 20 laps in stage 1, 20 in stage 2, 60 in stage 3. So they will not have to pit for fuel and tire purposes in the first two stages. And depending on how many cautions we get in the first stage, plus obviously how long the stage caution lasts at lap 20 to whenever they go green, they could potentially make it on fuel all the way to the end of stage 2 before having to top off for the first time. Could see some strategy there as far as who may pit, give up track position versus taking over track position around that lap 20 mark. Tony Stewart, 2 for 6 in the Truck Series. All time. 33% win percentage. Yes. Yeah, he's a very accomplished driver. He's a 3-time Cup champion for a reason. Never ran full-time in the trucks. Rookie season in the Cup Series all the way back in 1999. This guy has been racing cars / NASCAR competitively about as long as I've been alive. It's insane. And he's still competitive enough to qualify in the top 15. Not to mention it is with a manufacturer that hasn't been in the sport in 13 years, so we're not exactly sure how fast they're going to be out of the gate. But at least for Daytona, looking pretty good so far. We'll really get to see when they go to Las Vegas in a few weeks. And we get out of the drafting ovals. Atlanta next week, another drafting oval. Steve, thanks for tuning in. Talking about Stenhouse right now. Nice Motorsport running the throwback, not really throwback schemes, but the number font to that of the late Greg Biffle for this weekend's races at Daytona. We're seeing a couple teams in the Cup Series do the same. RFK racing the 16 for Call League. Of course, the old car number that Biffle drove for his entire Cup Series career. It's awesome to see that font on the side of a handful of the trucks on the field tonight. Our fuel window is 32 to 36 green flag laps. So again, in the event of the cautions or however many we may see through stage 1 at the stage break, could determine as to what kind of split strategy we'll see for pit stops at the end of stage 1. Lights are out on the pace truck, and we're going to be going green this time by. Alrighty. It is a packed crowd on hands here at Daytona for the truck race on a Friday night. They'll be sold out at Daytona for the 500 here in a couple days. They're waiting for a good show. We'll see what they are going to get. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway in the Fresh from Florida 250, the debut race of the 2026 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series season. In the pole sitter, Ty Majeski took the inside of row 1 for this initial start. The Spire Motorsports Chevys pushing their way to the front of the field, though, on this initial start. Already clearing the 88 of Majeski and pulling down to that double yellow line through turns 1 and 2. Building speed for the first time at Daytona down the back straightaway in the draft. Michael McDowell with his Cup Series teammate Carson Hocevar right behind him. They did well in the dual race last night at Daytona. Dual number 2, they were both in the same race. They both had top 5 runs. Hocevar finished 3rd, McDowell 5th. And they were running inside the top 4 with Hocevar in 2nd on the final lap of the race. Already building to 3 wide in the middle of the pack. That didn't take very long. Things getting aggressive at the front of the field. Chandler Smith, who started 10th, is leading that outside line of trucks, already up to 6th. Tyler Anker moving up in front of him, stalls the line out a bit. The 98 of Jake Garcia is leading the middle with Cletus McFarland 2nd in line just behind him. Cletus is going to hop down to the double yellow on the bottom, and the middle lane race trucks are losing numbers fast. There's only 3 of them now. It's getting a little tight through turns 3 and 4. A lot of lane changing going on right around where we see those 3 trucks in the middle groove. Carson Hocevar with a move to the bottom. Michael McDowell not going to be able to do the same. Carson Hocevar not willing to ride behind his teammate for much longer. Inside of McDowell for the lead. First 2 laps of the race were led by the 7 truck. While the 88 started on the pole, he has settled in around 3rd and 4th place, side by side for 3rd currently in the middle of lap 3. The center of the trial, I almost wonder if Hocevar was going down to block the inside line and then just had enough speed, obviously, after pulling out of line to get to the inside of his teammate. They could be trying to gridlock the field, too. I don't know what the strategy is. For Spire Motorsports right now. But it's working out for them. They ran 1st and 2nd at the end of each of these first 3 laps. Things are anything but tame right now in the pack, though. Real Hawk Racer, thanks for tuning in. Do you know where you can watch the race? Fox Sports 1 visually is where you can watch the race this evening. All of the truck races are on Fox or Fox Sports 1 every week. Tyler Burbeck, thanks for tuning in. Frank Powers, welcome in as well. And the 88 of Majeski has pulled to the outside of Carson Hocevar for 2nd place. More trucks are now in that middle groove of 3 wide. And it is about 3 wide now, at least 4 rows deep, from about 6th place back through nearly 18th. Tony Bringer moving into the middle groove of race trucks, and now we've got 5 trucks in the middle groove. More than that, with the 88 moving off of the wall down into the middle line in front of his teammate. Also brought the 15 of Tanner Gray with him. Went from having more trucks in the outside than the very middle groove, and now all of them moving to the middle, moving towards the front of the field behind Michael McDowell. And only 4 trucks are in the 3rd lane up near the wall. Tyler Ankrum, who was leading that line with Chandler Smith on about lap 2, have fallen out of the top 10 as they have lost numbers quickly. Lane Riggs up to 18th after starting back in 35th. 18 positions gained already in just 6 laps. Most of any driver in the field. Stuart Friesen also up 10 positions. 52 truck is in the middle groove. 5th row back. Just outside the top 10. Laps go by quick here at Daytona when you're at speed. 190 plus miles per hour. Down the back straightaway, middle of the draft. Showed Layton Riggs' speedometer, about 186. He's got quite a few trucks in front of him yet. I believe McDowell has led every lap. Oh, Cletus McFarland's around and hard into the inside wall. Oh, you hate to see that this early. Lap 6, caution is out. I don't know if the truck snapped loose or if he got turned loose. You have to wait to get a replay, but he hits driver's side door first against the inside retaining wall. Caution is out for the first time. Window net is down. And that truck is tore up. Early exit for Cletus on this Friday night.
And I was keeping an eye on him. He made a move to get to that bottom lane, which I thought was a good play for him. And he's just kind of riding in line. I'm interested to see what happened there. Turn 4 is usually the most scary.
There you go, the breakdown.
Yeah, based upon that explanation, I think I know what I'm going to see right here, but since we're getting ready to put it on the screen, I'm not even going to speculate. See Cletus right up in the front. Just got loose.
Yep.
And that is, Joey, you know that section of the racetrack, if you've got wheel into the truck right there, as you get about 3/4 of the way around the corner, if that truck is tight and all of a sudden the truck will get loose with those little bumps and everything right there, and as the track transitions, it's just a characteristic of this racetrack in that section.
Let's take another look at that in the overhead shot.
So right on the Stuart Friesen.
All on his own.
It catches it, lifts, but then Gio has nowhere to go. And you can only slow up so much. You get trucks all around you. for Cletus, he's out there, he's having a big time, but he also is limited experience in scenarios like this, right? So how do you learn? You got to just live it.
We hope he's okay. What a wild ride and a big hit for Cletus McFarland. He breaks out our first caution.
Sure, we'll get an interview when he exits the infield care center. He is out of the truck under his own power, waving to the crowd on the front stretch as he is going to exit to the ambulance that will take him to the infield care center. Michael McDowell has led every lap so far from the second place starting position. Lap 7, the site of her first caution tonight. Fuel saving measures going on already to maybe try to make it to the end of stage 2. Farland was on the bottom lane of the racetrack, got loose off the exit of turn 4, caught it, got loose again, and then in the process of being loose that second time, slight tap from behind by Taylor Gray, and around he went. KTN USA, thanks for tuning in. Pete Creamer, welcome to the stream. MC Antihero, welcome in. Although he did lose it, could have been a much bigger wreck if he didn't turn left. Yeah, he definitely corrected it from overcorrecting, I guess, if you will, back to the right, and then had that slight tap from behind in the midst of trying to regather his truck, but he was obviously out of the throttle at that point. Running nose to tail, 3 apiece, all the way through the field, kind of difficult to not only catch the race truck, but keep from others running over you while you're trying to make that save. We'll see him in the ARCA race tomorrow afternoon. And just over 150 concurrent viewers watching. Greatly appreciate that, everybody. And we're already at 66 likes on our goal to get to 100 tonight. Sure to subscribe for more NASCAR content along the way. We'll take our first break. You're listening live, KRC. Our coverage continues of the Fresh from Florida 250.
Cletus McFarland. He races everything. He got a lot of crazy things. And he has fun, no matter what he's doing. Look at this.
Yeah, we saw those motorhomes last year at Talladega. I went inside. I wouldn't have slept in them.
Unfortunately, this night ended early, lap number 6. I know his heart's broken, but it's a great scene. When we took a look at the infield, and there he is climbing from his truck. It's going to be sore after that hit, guys. That was big.
He hit it so flush to that wall, driver's side. There's no give, right? There's the cage around you to protect the driver. It's so important, but there's also crush zones that you need to absorb a wreck. And the driver's side with all those bars are meant there to keep all the intrusion. And boy, he hit it a ton. I'm glad to see he's okay.
Yeah, you see that thing start tank slapping right there after it got loose, and that's just a tough spot on the racetrack. And his ARCA experience, he was telling me yesterday just how much those cars are glued to the racetrack. They couldn't be more opposite with these trucks. And when you're underneath somebody like that, it's very easy to get loose. And in that area of the racetrack, even easier. So it's a scenario to where you just got to it's trial by fire as to how you learn in those situations. And unfortunately for Cletus, it happened pretty early in this one.
My first Daytona 500 wreck looked very similar to that. Did the same exact thing.
Hate to see his night over, but he will be back in the Arkham and Art series tomorrow at noon on Fox. See if he could fare a little bit better. Let's get an update on our leader, Josh.
Yeah, an update on Michael McDowell. When I talked to him and his team earlier today, he said when he got in this race last year, wasn't as comfortable with the truck, something he hadn't done in about a decade. This time around, Brian Patty, his crew chief, told me they are way more prepared, and we are seeing that right away with the amount of laps he's been able to lead. Now, McDowell came over the radio just a little while ago, said that truck feels really good, being able to be pushed. Just said, tell the spotter to give me precise directions because I'm having trouble seeing where the trucks are behind me. Read.
Well, Josh, to update a couple of trucks that came to pit road on this caution. Tony Stewart, you see him right there. One of those trucks is struggling with the back of his vehicle. They can't get it to where he's comfortable enough to go full throttle through the corners. He's actually having to limp a little bit. So they came in, got more tires, and made adjustments to try and help him out and give him that confidence he needs. Another truck, Lane Riggs in the 34, also came to pit road. They are hitting the ground so bad with the nose of that truck still, as Kevin, you saw a little while ago, they decided to put some packer in, so an extended stop for the 34 Lane Riggs.
Thank you, Reagan, for the update.
I circled Tony Stewart's dash right there because did you see how big that font was?
No, that was adjustable.
Well, it might not be, but let's not tell anybody that.
He's got the glasses in there too.
I
get it.
Students.
That's exactly right. I'd make that thing as big as possible too. And it might be that way for everybody, but it's still good for him to be able to see it.
You guys, look at this over at Sean. It is absolutely packed in the infield. Great turnout in the stands, kicking off things this weekend. We've got 3 more races coming up.
It's as good a vibe in this racetrack and coming down here to Speed Weeks as it has been in a long time. I love the enthusiasm from the competitors, the amount of people in the crowd. It feels a little different than it has in several years.
Travis Pastrana back there in 32nd, keeping it clean so far.
And this is a nice time to have a caution. You know, it wasn't a huge wreck. Unfortunately, Cletus got into that. But for everybody else, they had a moment to go down pit road. Some of them, the leaders stayed out. But the back half of the field, they came in, they topped off. They made a couple of adjustments if they needed to. You're 10 laps in, you get an idea of what you got. And then you have plenty of time to make that up throughout the race.
All right, pace car is going to be pulling off onto pit road. And we're halfway through stage 1 already. 10 laps down, 10 to go. Stage points are awarded to the top 10 positions. 1 point per spot. 10 points for first. 1 point all the way back for 10th. Green flag is going to be back in the air. Michael McDowell outside of row 1, just as he was the initial start when he got pushed by Carson Hocevar to get to the lead. Though his teammate Hocevar aligns himself to the inside of row 1, he's instead getting the push from behind by Tanner Gray inside of row 2. Gray's going to get that 77 clear of the field out in front, so Michael McDowell, after leading the first 10 laps of the race, now has his teammate up in front of him. And they'll run nose to tail in that second groove of race trucks, middle line down the back straightaway. Already up over 180 miles per hour as they enter turn 3. Now Majeski going to try to push the 7 forward. McDowell gets back to the outside of Hocevar, and we're gridlocked just as we were at the very front of the field with the Spire Chevys right before that caution. Out of turn 4, lap 6 crash for Cletus McFarland. Single truck incident, only truck now out of the race. 9 laps to go in stage 1. Michael McDowell leads that lap again. Still led them all despite the fact that Hocevar got to the lead initially. It was the bumper out in front by the 7 when they crossed the start-finish line that last time by. Caden Honeycutt in the 11 truck, who won this race as well as many others last season with Corey Heim behind the wheel, has Honeycutt trying to go back-to-back for Tricon in this race. They had a 1-2 finish in last year's race here. Butterbean Queen inside the top dozen in the number 12 truck, as he makes his, not debut in the Truck Series, but full-time debut, as he'll be a rookie in the Truck Series this season for Ram. He actually won the ARCA race at Daytona last season. Now trying to win the truck event in his first try as well. Just ran some of the short tracks in the Truck Series over the last few years. Ran a couple more at the very end of last season on the intermediates as well, as he tried to get acclimated with this series. Obviously a completely different manufacturer he's racing for right now. Not sure if he would have expected to be running for Ram at that time last year, but he is. His select runs last season and truck's pretty good. His debut at North Wilkesboro 2 years ago, he ended up finishing 3rd. Really broke onto the scene quickly. Got Daniel Dye Corey LaJoy up on the outside of the racetrack. Third line of race trucks. And now they're going to have the 99 move up in front of him along with the 38 of Chandler Smith. It's Ben Rhodes in the 99. And they're starting to move forward a bit. Still about 6 rows out of the front row that the 7 and 77 are still side by side. A lot of repetitive laps with the gridlocked field here between both the Spire Chevys. Kind of seems very Cup Series reminiscent of. Got problems maybe for Tony Stewart. Either that or he's just hanging out all on his own. 6 laps left in the stage this time by. No, he hasn't lost the draft. He's just drafting away from the lead pack. And I don't blame him one bit because he's not racing for points tonight. No incentive for him to go for stages if he's not running full-time in the trucks. I thought for a second the 88 was going to try to move to the outside of McDowell and take it 3 wide for the lead into turn 1. Had about half of his front bumper out into the clean air. And I wonder if he makes the move, will the 11 go with him? 13 moves into the outside. One of the Friesen Hallmark trucks are up there. Can't tell if that's a 52 or 62. Looks like it's the 52 of Friesen. And the 13 of Butcher. Cole Butcher in the Thor Sport truck there is dancing around a little bit with that push. Both Butcher and Friesen move back down into the middle line, and we're no longer 3 wide at Daytona. Only 5 laps to go in stage 1. The points pay window is going to be opening very shortly here. And I wonder if there's going to be anybody just outside the top 10 to try to make another dire move to go 3 wide to the top, get themselves in position. There is a chase for both the Truck and O'Reilly Series, just like there is for Cup. You win the regular season championship, you're going to be 2,100 points total, which is 25 ahead of second into the final 10 races. I guess for this, the Truck Series would be the final 7 races instead of 10. Slightly smaller sample size, but still going to want to have that advantage. Corey Heim not in the field full-time this year. He'll be running select truck races throughout the year, but that is really interesting. And a race win pays more. It's 1 point per position for every finishing position, just as we've seen for a while now in the NASCAR Cup Series. I think 2011 was the first year they started doing that. The difference is now, though, we're going to pay more points for the race winner. It's going to be 65 points to win a race and 40 points per second. That's a 25-point difference. McDowell is the only former Daytona 500 champion in the field. Well, him and Stenhouse. We got 2 former Daytona 500 champions in the field. Fox is showing the graphic of McDowell winning that 2021 500. Stenhouse in 23. Both within those last 4 years. Tony Stewart's won a few Xfinity races here, including a Summer Cup Series Daytona event, never the 500. 62 of John Hunter Nemechek is now leading the 3rd lane of trucks, so we've got a Cup regular trying to make a move up there and get to the front of the field late in the stage. And it would be the 1 of Taylor Gray trying to push him. Another truck going to slide up in front of Nemechek. And that's going to box him up just a little bit. And Nemechek and Gray are losing momentum fast. Can anybody get by Hocevar and McDowell? I don't know how willing the 88 is going to be in second place and just running behind Michael McDowell and not trying to make a move for the stage win himself. I mean, obviously you run the risk of the 11 not being able to follow you and losing even more ground. The 91 is back. Christian Eckes, major shot down the end of the front stretch from John Hunter Nemechek. Gets him close to the front of the field. Yeah, outside of the 11 truck of Honeycutt for a short bit. Now Honeycutt is trying to push the 88. Another massive shot down the back straightaway now. And Christian Eckes is to the outside of the lead. 3 wide at Daytona for the lead as we come to the final lap of stage 1. Now it's 3 wide for second. 15 bobbles off the bottom. Got very loose like McFarland did. Bringing out the caution. He's able to save it. That bottlenecks the inside just a bit. Nemechek is locked onto that back bumper of Ekis. Now let's go. Gave him the quick push. He's outside of Hocevar for the lead. Turns 1 and 2. Michael McDowell up the middle. And Hocevar back clear of the pack on the bottom lane of the racetrack through turns 1 and 2. Things are backing up a little bit. On the front stretch, a block by Hocevar to the outside, but the 15's going to get above him. Gets slammed from behind by the 7 truck of McDowell trying to push Hocevar forward. Tanner Gray, not quite clear the 77 down on the bottom. And tightly nosed to tail are the Spire Chevys that have dominated the first stage and trying to get the stage win. Gray is on his own. Lost his drafting partner. Hocevar tries to side draft him back to the line, and I believe it was Carson Hocevar who wins stage 1, and he does. That was very close. Photo finish to the end of the first stage, and Carson Hocevar will get it done. About 3 wide at the line with Christian Eckes and Taylor Gray as well. Oh, no, they're giving it to Tanner Gray. Tanner Gray gets the stage win. It looked like by the naked eye Hocevar had it, but I guess it's Tanner Gray with our timing and scoring. That was even closer than I thought. I thought Hocevar got it. I thought so too. There it is, our leaderboard updated now. 5/1000ths of a second. Tanner Gray beats Carson Hocevar to the line. And Gray will pick up the stage win. Obviously, he's full-time in trucks, so those 10 points are very vital. He missed the playoffs entirely last year. So for him to be up in the top 10, what a great start. So Tanner Gray is going to be able to win the stage. Hocevar tried to side draft him at the last second to pull ahead. Couldn't quite do it. 3,700ths back to third place Christian Eckes as well. That was very tight. No major incident. So Tanner Gray wins stage 1. Carson Hocevar second. Christian Eckes third. Michael McDowell fourth. John Hunter Nemechek was fifth. Sixth, Ty Majeski. Seventh place was Taylor Gray. Caden Honeycutt eighth. Daniel Hemrick ninth. And Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 10. Again, 1 point per position there in the top 10. Finishing order for stages 1 and 2. So first stage is in the books already. It was a very fast opening stage. About 24 minutes. That was even with the 1 caution. 5/1000ths of a second, that's about 1/4 of an inch. It was very close. See, now on our leaderboard, it's got Hocevar back in front, so I'm a little curious as to why that is. By the naked eye, I thought Hocevar had it. And then I look up at the pylon, and it was Tanner Gray. It's kind of hard to tell 5/1000ths of a second by the naked eye, especially at speeds of 180, 185 plus miles per hour. So we had a couple cars at the back of the field make a pit stop after the lap 6 caution. We're going to see a lot more come to pit road, maybe even the entire field, now that we're at the end of stage 1. So we'll take a quick break, and then when we get back, we should be having pit stops shortly. All right. Zayden Shepard, thanks for tuning in. Happened to Cletus. He ended up getting loose off turn 4 on lap 6. Spun against the inside wall after slight contact after getting loose on his own. Haven't gotten an interview with him yet outside of the infield care center, so hopefully everything's going okay there. All right, here's that photo finish. Oh, it was Hocevar. Timing and scoring had Tanner Gray by 5/1000ths of a second. But if we go back to the photo itself, the flash photography would say that it's Carson Hocevar who gets the stage win. All right, so I don't feel bad. I did call it right. That's crazy that my eyesight is better than the timing and scoring NASCAR uses.
Got a replay.
Here's
What
Cletus McFarland.
sensation was the truck giving you?
Well, the sensation was incredible. You know, we were 3 wide, which was insane from the start. It was immediately 3 wide, which I wasn't expecting. And it was insane. I mean, I was having the time of my life literally again. And I just did not check myself before I wrecked myself right there. Got loose coming out of 4. I was flying. And I put too much wheel in it because I was getting a little tight. And because we're freaking 3 wide on second lap on. I think I only made it 7 laps. I was a little tight, and I was just trying not to hit the guy on the outside. Came off 4, flattened out. Truck sat down. I think I had too much wheel in it. And I just started getting loose. I went right towards the field. I'm like, damn, I'm out to wreck 30 race cars. And I overcorrected to the left like an idiot. That's something Biff did not teach me right there. And I went left, put myself on a trajectory to slam into the wall, wreck the truck. And now here I stand in the worst spot to do an interview in the entire Daytona Speedway.
On a little bit of a lighter note, I did talk to you at pre-race at driver intros, and you said that Carson Hocevar had given you some advice.
Yeah, I mean, Carson told me that if I cause the wreck, then I usually will not be in the wreck. But in this particular instance, I caused the wreck and was the only one to wreck. So I'm starting to question Carson's advice and whether or not I should be listening to him. But he did win the stage, so that's pretty sweet.
Welcome to the Truck Series.
Yeah, and I want to say thanks to Black Rock Coffee and Neats Motorsports and Brunt Workwear for sponsoring me. I'm an idiot. Wrecked the truck in 7 laps. That sucks. And thanks to everyone who tuned in.
Oh, Cletus, great interview from the Advent Health Care Center. Hard on himself, but man.
Well, we'll see if Cletus is going to be back. I don't know if he'll be back for Talladega in the Truck Series like he was in ARCA last season. Only because Talladega falls in the chase for the Truck Series. They don't have a spring date there like ARCA does. We're definitely going to see him back in the ARCA race tomorrow afternoon. So if you're tuned in watching Cletus McFarland, you can tune back in right here on the channel noon Eastern. Gets to go to bed a little early. Not that I think he's going to go to bed early, but he can if he chooses to, as he prepares for tomorrow afternoon. Pit road will open this time, and the leaders will be on their way down. Led by, it looks like Carson Hocevar. Got a couple trucks in the top 10 looking to stay out.
Most of them are headed your way, Josh.
Well, for Tanner Gray, he wanted a slight adjustment in that truck. His crew chief, Jeff Hensley, told him, no, we're doing a splash of fuel. That's it, and go. Reed?
Carson Hocevar in the 77 truck, super loose with the back of that truck from where he started the race. Compared it to having a flat tire, it was that loose. And the 91 of Christian Eckes, very squirrely in the middle of the pack. Fortunately, he was able to work his way forward. Out of the middle of the pack, you see 2 left sides for him.
Nice stop for Carson Hocevar.
All right, fuel only for a lot of the front runners off of pit road. All the top 10 took fuel only. Carson Hocevar wins the race out of the pits after by a hair winning stage 1. So again, Hocevar did win the first stage by a photo finish over Tanner Gray. A lot of grass taken out of that infield from McFarland's damaged race truck sliding in after making contact significantly with the wall seconds before. All right. Where are we at on the like counter, ladies and gentlemen? We are at 83 already. Wow, 83 likes. We just wrapped up stage 1. Thank you so much for that. 84. Well, we're well on our way to the 100 like goal, so that's good. And Maybe we could set a stream high for this season in the truck race at Daytona. We may be able to. Number to beat, I think, is 147 for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. It's going to be tough to do today. And a 2.5 hour or so stream compared to a 24-hour stream, that's going to be difficult. But we'll see. You guys are the best. I believe in you. So again, we will be live for both races tomorrow. ARCA at noon, 5 p.m. Eastern for the O'Reilly Auto Parts race, formerly Xfinity Series. New title sponsor for them, beginning this weekend. Jojo, welcome to the stream. Pulling for Tony Stewart too. Yeah, 80 laps in tomorrow's ARCA race, 120 for the O'Reilly race. 100 tonight. So in actuality, we have 200 laps of Daytona racing both tomorrow and Sunday. How about that? John Barber, thanks for tuning in. Cletus is a promoter, not a race driver. Oh boy. Oh boy. He had a top 10 in the ARCA race last year, and I'm sure if he doesn't get taken out in an incident in tomorrow's ARCA race, he should fare better. Had a good qualifying run earlier, 12th. And definitely not a good debut by any means. Anytime you wreck out on lap 7. Thankful that not more trucks were collected from a mistake by the rookie. "37 trucks started, and we still have 37 trucks started. We still have 36 on track." Dana White is in the booth. What is going on here?
And talked to me about helping them bring Ram back to NASCAR. He liked a lot of the stuff that we've done in building our business. So I love challenges, and so I decided to do it. And here I am at my first Daytona. Actually have some skin in the game and care who wins the race.
What's it been like so far as you've been on pit road? It looked like a mess down there at Tony Stewart's truck.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. I mean, anybody who's never been to NASCAR before, it's such a cool experience. The fans, the drivers, the interaction between, the driver in any other sport, when it's game day, even for UFC, they're in their locker rooms, they're getting focused mentally and everything. Football teams, they're in the locker room. Here, they're out mixing it up with the fans. Like, as soon as they get into the truck, they're still taking pictures and talking to fans. It's actually pretty impressive. And I love I love how NASCAR mixes the brands with the drivers and the fans, and it's a very unique experience. My first one was Talladega. It's why I drank moonshine for the first time. You know what I mean? It's like it's such a cool, different experience.
Yeah, NASCAR is pretty great, and it is a very different sport than others. But to your point, the drivers, the way you guys did the driver's search. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think that what was the question
about the driver's search to get into the truck?
Yeah, so
that you guys have.
Take all the best drivers that aren't signed, and by any of the big brands or in NASCAR. They come in, they compete in basically the same thing. If you think about The Ultimate Fighter, the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, Forrest Griffin was a police officer in Atlanta, Georgia, and we got him to come and do it, and then last minute he pulled out and said, "No, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do it." So I had to get on the phone, talk him into it. He comes in, he ends up champion of the world. The rest is history. But and here we go. Here's my guy, Minnie Tyrell. So
love his what a great personality, by the way. The whole story, how they were in one house together. They couldn't have any contact with the outside world. It's a great story. Glad that Minnie Tyrell is here racing in the Truck Series for the first time, Dana. It was a great series. You saw it on Fox and FS1. John Hunter Nemechek, little shift up front. Daniel Hemrick, on the inside. Stage number 2 is underway.
And you see immediately right there, Taylor Gray attached to the back bumper of that 62 truck of John Hunter Nemechek. Lane Riggs a little later on the inside row. So outside lane, definitely a little ahead of the game right now with those pushers.
And something we need to note here, a lot of these trucks are the trucks that pitted on lap 6 or so when the first caution with Cletus McFarland. So these are trucks all stayed out at this last caution during the stage. So new set of cast of characters up front.
Whoa.
Look at the 3 wide move.
Carson Hocevar. Jeez.
He wants to retake the lead after stopping on pit road.
Yeah, and that's
Contact?
a really aggressive move right there from Carson Hocevar. And we heard him talk about his truck on pit lane. It felt like it had a flat tire. It was so loose. So this is luckily a short stage for him, but that didn't hold him back from being super aggressive right there.
And here he goes aggressive again. He's going 3 wide top. And look at all the trucks that go with him. That proves that he has a fast truck. His teammates right behind him. And the majority went up there, which is going to actually make that 3rd lane roll.
So where is Tony Stewart? Let's check in with his radio and what he's dealing with.
Oh, it looks like it. Okay. Not worried about here. There's another cat, you know what I mean?
So he's feeling good. Just wants maybe an adjustment or two, Kevin.
Well, it's like I told you earlier. I mean, when I talked to him a couple of nights ago, I mean, he was so nervous. And when you have somebody of the caliber that Tony Stewart has, the potential to go out and learn, you don't have to teach him much. You just have to put him in the middle of the fire again and let him figure it out. And I think right now he's still trying to figure it out. But the thing that a lot of people didn't realize about Tony Stewart is he's really, really intelligent as far as racecraft and the things that he does. He's not going to put that truck in a bad spot if he's not comfortable yet. So I think as this race goes on, he's going to continue to progress and get more comfortable and be more aggressive.
Dana, how about this driver lineup for you guys? I mean, you have some of the veterans, Wiley veterans, and you have the mini Tyrell that we mentioned first start here. Daniel Dye coming back to the Truck Series.
Yeah, I was talking to Stuart earlier, and I'm surprised how like cerebral he is about it. It's like, you say he was nervous, but he seemed so calm and smooth and breaking down what he needed to do in the race tonight. It was incredible. And then Mini Tyrell too. I mean, talking to him tonight, I mean, he's on the big stage tonight, and he seems so calm and relaxed and smooth, knows what he needs to do. And for a kid like that, he got the experience to sit and talk with Tony Stewart for like an hour. And the guys from College Racing are saying, you couldn't pay for this. You couldn't, there's no way you can have this type of an experience in your first race like that.
I've been around Mini a lot with our late model stuff, and he had never left home.
Right.
Weeks. And when he went inside that house and he was drinking from a fire hose right off the bat because he was so uncomfortable with the things that he had to do that weren't in the race car. And that's what you want to do. That's what you did with the Ultimate Fighter. That's what you did with this Ram race for the seat. And it's really cool to see somebody like that who came from Virginia and is now out here on the stage learning at a rapid pace and trying to figure all this out. But he knows how to win. He knows what to do. It's just a different situation that he's trying to figure out.
Dana, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Great to get your perspective. We love seeing newbies. Congratulations on everything with the series. We look forward to seeing more.
Thank you.
How about this? Chris Stapleton.
Oh, I don't want to play that. I'll probably get copyrighted for the music. All right. Already 8 laps to go in stage 2. It looks like they're cutting a commercial in Daytona. Carson Hocevar is back in the lead. Made an amazing 3-wide move on the restart as they were building speed past several race trucks inside and out. Able to get himself back into the top couple positions. Has since gotten himself now to the front of the outside line and leading the race. With Hocevar in the lead, we've got Taylor Gray in second. Michael McDowell sits third. Nick Lights is up to fourth. And Lane Riggs rounds out the top 10. In 6th is Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Spitz 7th, Ty Majeski 8th, Corey LaJoy 9th, and Grant Enfinger in 10th. 11th is Justin Haley, Tyler Ankrum 12th, Tanner Gray 13th, Jake Garcia 14th, and 15th is Caden Honeycutt. Andres Perez in 16th, Brendan Queen 17th, Tony Stewart 18th, Gio Ruggiero 19th, and Christian Eck is 20th. 21st is Colt Butcher. 22nd, John Hunter Nemechek. Ben Rhodes, 23rd. Dawson Sutton, 24th. And Stuart Friesen, 25th. 26th is Chris Wright. Daniel Dye, 27th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 28th. Travis Pastrana, 29th. And Spencer Boyd, 30th. Minnie Tyrell in 31st. Jason Kitzmiller, 32nd. 33rd, Josh Reum. Jason Ebwhite, 34th. 35th, Frankie Muniz. Daniel Hemrick is a lap down in 36th. Not sure what happened to him, but had to make a green flag pit stop during green flag conditions after the restart. And then Cletus McFarland out of the race, lap 6 crash, turn 4, got loose, single truck incident there. So 35 on the lead lap, 36 still in the race. And with the caution at lap 40 for the stage end coming up, Eckes will get back on the lead lap shortly. Or not Eckes, sorry, Hemrick will get back on the lead lap shortly. During the full screen commercial break, Lane Riggs has taken the race lead for the first time today, away from Carson Hocevar, one of the championship favorites for this season, already taken his first lead in race 1. 15 laps have already been led by Hocevar, 13 for Michael McDowell, who led most of his laps all the way back at stage 1. Hocevar won the opening stage on a photo finish, side drafting his way back by Tanner Gray to the line. Christian Eckes kind of swooped in late on the outside, 3 wide coming to the line at the end of that first stage. So close we needed a photo to judge who exactly got it done, and it was Carson Hocevar. Thanks for all the great race podcasts on the channel. NASCAR should do the same. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have some kind of a stream, honestly, on YouTube. Have like a, I don't know who they would have. I was going to say Steve Letarte, but he does a lot of the in-booth commentating between Prime, TNT, and NBC. Oh, we got a truck up against the wall. 2 of them. I think Tony Stewart is one. Pancaked with the 98 of Ty Majeski, rather, the 98 now. Jake Garcia. And caution is out for the second time for incident. I don't know how that started. It was right off turn 4 again. Calamity Corner. Turn 4 tonight. Quite a bit of damage against Tony Stewart's left front fender. Wrong place at the wrong time for him as Eckes went spinning to the outside of the racetrack. And I believe this is going to end the stage under caution. Chandler Smith got to the lead right before the yellow came out, so it looks like he's going to win stage 1. Taking a look at what happened with the incident. 98 going up the middle, just got loose. Got loose off turn 4, overcorrected to the outside, took Tony Stewart with him up against the outside wall. I think both trucks are going to be able to continue, but significant damage is definitely going to hinder their speed and ability to hang on in the draft. Stewart got the worst of it because he got pancaked against the wall and the 98 truck. The left side of Jake Garcia's truck looks pretty fine, but Stewart getting sandwiched, it's a little bit concerning there. Got a couple drivers of our all-star cast already in incidents today, our first 2 crashes. Lap 37, time of that caution with 4 to go in the stage. I just don't think they're going to get this cleaned up in time to get a restart in with about a lap to go in stage 1. And if the stage ends under yellow, again, Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs, both the teammates at Front Row Motorsports, going to finish 1-2. 1-2-3 for Ford as Ty Majeski for ThorSport is in 3rd. Good night for Majeski so far. I think he was 4th at the end of stage 1. Got a flat right front tire on Stewart's race car. He's back onto pit road. We'll keep you updated on Tony Stewart and if he can keep his truck not only in the race, but on the lead lap as well. He's able to make it all the way around this long 2.5-mile oval back into the pits. Full screen commercial break on Fox Sports 1. I mean stage 2. Did I say stage 1? Sorry about that. I had no idea I even said that. Yeah, stage 2. I don't think they're going to get a restart in here. I think this is going to end the second stage under caution. Nowhere near as much damage for Stewart as Cletus McFarland had, taking him out of the race in the early laps. I think Tony's going to continue. I just don't know how much speed he's going to have to hang on in the draft. I wouldn't want him being the lead truck in a line, that's for sure, but we've seen damaged vehicles in the past be able to kind of hang on in the draft well enough and find their way back towards the front of the field somehow. We'll see how much repair work that the 25 crew is going to be able to do for him. Welcome back to NASCAR, Tony Stewart. It's been a rude awakening for some of these not everyday drivers in the Truck Series tonight. Sandwich against the wall after Garcia snaps loose. Same exact thing that happened to McFarland. The only difference is the 98 of Garcia was in the middle groove off turn 4 versus McFarland was down on the bottom lane. Adjustments for Old Smoke. Yeah, more than just adjustments. He said he was having fun earlier. I wonder if he's still having fun. Couldn't have felt all that great. Take a look here. He's still on the lead lap right now. We've only had about 2 laps of caution, though. I don't know what happened to Daniel Hemrick. They haven't diagnosed it on the broadcast yet. He was a lap down. He has since been back to pit road, and he's now 4 laps down. He will get the free pass to get one of those laps back with this caution. But I think he pulled back into the pits right before the yellow. Not good for the McAnally Hilgeman Racing Team. Waiting for them to come back from commercial, see if this is going to end stage 2 or not. I just don't think they're going to be able to get one in. We're on lap 19 of 20 right now. They would have to go green this time by. And just with the damage and a little bit of debris spread by the 2 trucks involved in this incident, I just don't think we're going to get back to it. 4 laps to go is kind of tough, even on a 2.5-mile oval like Daytona. Caution speed roughly 70 miles per hour. $16 lead changes already today in the first 2 stages alone of only 40 laps. We are on the final lap of the stage, still single file, so they will not be going green before the end of stage 2, as I expected. That 19 truck is skewed so far to the right. Something must have broken that race truck for him to be on and off of pit road on a couple of occasions. Hemrick could be one of the championship contenders this year in the Craftsman Truck Series. Former O'Reilly Series champion back in 2021. Won 2 races last season with this team. Just missed out on the championship 4 a year ago. So they're going to show a replay of Carson Hocevar, who was leading the outside lane. He lost the lead during the commercial break to Lane Riggs, and I want to see what happened to Hocevar. And he just got up against the wall. Not sure what happened. I don't know if he got contacted from behind. It was a very odd part of the racetrack to just go up against the wall like that. He was coming out of the tri-oval. He's currently in 26th. After winning stage 1. The truck doesn't look like it's got a lot of damage. You just kind of buffed the wall, but clearly at these speeds, it's going to slow you down a ton. From 1st to 26th, he went. So we'll go over the stage 2 top 10 and the drivers getting their points. Chandler Smith wins stage 2 out in front of the field. He was my pick to win the race. I feel pretty good about him right now. Not going to lie. Got a lot of racing left, though. Still 60 laps remain. Second, his teammate Lane Riggs. Ty Majeski in third. Taylor Gray fourth. Michael McDowell is fifth. Sixth for Nick Lights. Christian Eck is seventh. Eighth for Corey LaJoy. Jonathan Nemechek in ninth. Ben Rhodes rounds out the top 10. So again, 1 point per position there. Bond 1771, thanks for tuning in. And we are up over 100 likes already. Greatly appreciate that, everybody. We've had concurrently over 100 people watching pretty much this whole race portion of the stream. Once we got underway about 53 minutes ago. 2 cautions for incident tonight, counting the stage 1 finish at lap 20. This is our 3rd caution of the day. We've spent 14 of the now 40 laps under yellow. Pit road will open this time by cannot make it on field to the end. Again, 32 to 34 laps is the fuel distance to make it to the end. A lot of the top teams that raced their way off of pit road and restarted towards the front of the field at the beginning of the pack from the first pit stops took fuel only, so those will have to take tires, and maybe those who took tires under the first stop can maybe leapfrog, go fuel only here, and charge back into the lead again. But I would imagine if you're taking tires now, you may not be taking them later. We'll see. Seen 2 trucks just get loose, causing the 2 cautions we've seen so far. So handling does matter. Didn't even notice until just now. Looked like the 52 of Stuart Friesen actually had quite a bit of damage to his right front fender as he actually clipped the 98 of Jake Garcia after Garcia had went up against Tony Stewart and against the wall. So they're going to have to try to buff that dent out as much as they can. That's going to be a huge aerodynamic deficiency for the 52 of Stuart Friesen. So a 3-truck incident. He didn't come to pit road while it was closed after being involved. They're going to try to ride it out and then pit when everybody else does. But definitely had some damage. So actually a 3-car incident, truck incident that is. Garcia and Stewart have fallen off of the lead lap. I'll wait to see if they're still going to maintain in the race. And I wonder if this is the last time we see Tony Stewart in the truck series this season. Will he run any more races? Or is Daytona going to be it? I know he's obviously going to be full-time in drag racing with the NHRA again this year. So schedule obviously going to be conflicting. I'm surprised they didn't open pit road that time, not going to lie. I think Fox was expecting them to, and that's why they came back from commercial when they did. And we go back to commercial. I guess pit road is not open yet. It's got to be open this time by coming back from commercial once more. All right. Chandler Smith, again, the leader and the winner of stage 2. He is headed for pit road along with Lane Riggs and the rest of the field.
The 19 up front of Daniel Hemrick. The team was lobbying to get that penalty reversed. And they're coming your way now, Amanda.
You're going to take a look at Taylor Gray coming up down to pit road. Is back in a truck for the first time since 2024. He's already assessing who can help him out there ahead of stage 3. He wanted to sell the 62. Hey, I'm working good with John Leonard Nemechek. Pair me up with that guy. It'll be 4 tires for him, Josh, as we get ready for this last stage.
Stage 2 winner Chandler Smith in that 38 truck. That truck has been a tip loose all night long. Made some adjustments last stop, more adjustments, tighten them up this time around. And for time adjustment, no adjustment for 4 time refuel.
Lane Riggs in the 34 truck, a little bit free when he was in the pack, but once he got out front, extremely loose. Told the team he needs some help with that problem.
All these drivers filling up.
All right, Lane Riggs, awkward angle coming out of his pit box. Some 2-tire stops up at the front of the field. Stenhouse, Nick Lights took right sides only. Stenhouse jumps 22 positions because of it. First off the pit road with 4 tires was Ty Majeski. And Riggs and Chandler Smith both took 4 tires. And they lost some time in the pits. They're outside of the top 10 now. All right. Our leaderboard will update when the race leader gets back to the start-finish line at the end of every lap, so it's a little jumbled after the pit stops and most of the field coming down that last time through. And we will see the front runners in this one. 17 lead changes in 42 laps. That's a pretty competitive race so far. Most of those coming in stage 2. Now, obviously going to be 18 with the new leader at the line this time by. Caution periods have been quite lengthy here tonight. This one, the longest of which, but that is because of the timing of when it happened. 4 laps to go in stage 1, had to get to the stage end under the yellow, couldn't get a restart in before then. Otherwise, I think we would have went green by now. Then they finally open pit road. We'll have another lap or 2 of caution before we get back to racing. A little bit of a lull period in this one. So Nick Lights, after winning the race off pit road in the 5 for Tricon Garage, is going to lead the field to the green at Daytona. Ty Majeski will be in 2nd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 3rd, Spencer Boyd 4th, Michael McDowell rounds out the top 5. Got a lot of racing still to go here tonight. About halfway home. Everybody will have to pit for fuel and tire purposes at some point in this stage. With it being 60 laps. By the time we go green, more like 56 or so. Christopher Curtis, thanks for tuning in. Jarrett Harris, welcome to the stream. Ricky Thompson, many others. Yes, Cletus is out. One to go signal. We'll have 55 laps left in the race when we tear them loose again. Clean up from our 2nd caution for incidents. So Stenhouse will be restarting 3rd inside of row 2. We haven't seen him up at the front yet. 2023 Daytona 500 champion. 4-time Super Speedway winner in the Cup Series. 2-time O'Reilly Series champion. Hasn't really ran trucks much in his NASCAR career, but Daytona, a good track for him to do that. He's also a summer winner at Daytona in 2017 in the NASCAR Cup Series. At the time, it was his second career win. Tony Stewart is now 5 laps down. 1 lap down for Jake Garcia. So Garcia only lost a lap. Tony Stewart's still making repairs. And I'm not sure if we're going to see him before the finish again. Could be an early exit for Stewart. We'll have to see if Carson Hocevar and Michael McDowell can lead their way back to the front of the field. They're losing quite a bit of track position back in stage 2. Dominated the first stage, ran 1-2 most of the time. Hocevar was able to steal the stage win late. Friday night under the lights, Daytona International Speedway. The only truck date at Daytona this year. Outside of row 1 will be Nick Lights for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Corey LaJoie will be the one pushing him on the outside of row 2. And mentioned already about Stenhouse inside of row 2 behind the leader of that bottom lane, the 88 of Majeski. We've seen Majeski up in the top 5 pretty much all night. It's really the only driver who started near the front and has pretty much stayed there throughout the whole race. Hasn't had to come from deeper in the field like the Spire trucks are having to do right now. Hocevar outside of row 6 in 12th place on this restart, while Michael McDowell a little bit further back in the pack. Majeski got to get clear into turns 3 and 4 after the shove from Stenhouse. Stenhouse also clear of Nick Lights on the outside lane. Carson Hocevar going 3 wide. That didn't take very long. He went 3 wide up the middle on the restart to begin stage 2. Now he's going 3 wide to the outside as the 62 of Jonathan Nemechek moving up in front of him. Heard some of the radio chatter that Nemechek has had a pretty fast race truck here tonight. Some of those trying to take advantage of that. Hocevar going with him. Corey LaJoie up there. Got a lot of Cup Series veterans up in that outside lane. Butterbean Queen right behind all of them. Nick Lights is going to be split. We saw Hocevar going 3 wide for a bit. Now he's 4 wide. Nowhere to go for the 5 truck who led the field on the restart. Oh, man, almost a crash. Is that the 16? No, the 15. Tanner Gray squeezing in there in that 4 wide battle at the end of the backstretch right as things were narrowing up, headed into turn 3. Nearly ran out of real estate. Hocevar right back to the outside of 3 wide, hanging Chandler Smith out. Nobody going with the 38 truck who won stage 2. It's the stage 1 winner, Carson Hocevar, who's moving himself forward along with that 62 truck. They have made quite a bit of headway. That 4 wide move kind of stalled them out a bit. And now they're starting to gain ground right back on the front runners again. It looked like it was going to be a 6 or 7 truck breakaway there for a short bit, but that gap quickly closed between them and the rest of the field. So it's Nemechek, Hocevar, Queen, and Eckes, the top 4 trucks on the outside. Joy was a 3rd truck, and then somehow he got shuffled out when they went 4 wide, found himself back in line, lost a couple spots, though. Nemechek is on the outside of Ankrum, who is the 7th place truck on the bottom. So the top 6 are clear on the inside lane. 3 of them are ThorSport trucks in 5th and 6th, and then obviously the leader, Majeski. Another massive push down the back straightaway. Butterbean gets held out to dry in the middle groove. Eckes goes to the top. 77 and the 62 work their way forward. And there's enough space between the 12 and 77. The 18 of Anchor moves up. He saw that line moving forward. He wanted in it. And here he goes. And it's not going to take long, it looks like, for Hocevar and Nemechek to go from outside the top 10 about a lap and a half ago now are battling for about 5th. Through the tri-oval, they're alongside the 99 of Ben Rhodes. 4 trucks that lead the way as of right now at the front of the pack is Majeski, Stenhouse, Riggs, and Perez. And a lot of aggressive side drafting going on right now by Nemechek as well to the bottom lane trucks through the center of turns 1 and 2. And now we'll carry another push down the back straightaway as we get out of the bank into the racetrack and to the flat. Seems weird to see Ty in the 88. Yeah, you see that bright yellow Menards colors and you just think it's Matt Crafton sponsorships days. Driver isn't there anymore. Crafton's had the Menards colors for all but like 1 year of his career. Tony Stewart out of the infield care center. And here's an interview with him.
What's your experience with it?
We just didn't know what we were going to have balance wise, and it felt a little free at the beginning. I just tried to keep sneaking up on it, and first change really didn't move the needle, so they tried wedge instead of track bar and air, and it's actually started responding to it. So we probably needed to make that same change again, but it was at least in a spot where I felt comfortable being 3 wide and felt like I could hustle a little more, but we knew we still needed at least one more adjustment like that, but it was starting to get fun where we can at least get up there and mix it up a little bit and get in the middle of that stuff. So not sure what happened underneath us, but just comes across the nose, but it's just part of it.
I heard your crew chief said to you, maybe you want to do this again sometime. What was your answer to him?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think I was going to be here 10 years after I retired, so I think we have to learn to never say never, but yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, I'm so appreciative of Matt Collick and Chris Rice, Ty Norris, everybody at Ram and Collick Racing. They did an awesome job, and Alex was doing a great job. TJ did a great job spotting, just finally getting in a spot where I felt like I could start hustling and being in the mix there a little bit early on. It was just like, kind of hang on, and knew we needed to take care of it till we got a shot to make pit stops. So probably needed one more good swing at it to really get to where we could go, but we're gaining on it. So at least they're building a notebook now. I mean, the rest of the guys are out there still digging, so they'll build a good notebook for when we come back next time.
To see you soon, champ.
Yeah, thanks.
Never say never, Tony Stewart. Maybe we will.
All right, there's Tony Stewart exiting from the race. Meanwhile, while that interview was going on, we've got a battle for the lead, and it's the 62 of John Hunter Nemechek taking it over from the inside lane. Got pushed all the way to the front by Hocevar. Immediately when Hocevar has a chance to pull down low and make the pass for the lead himself, he does. Slingshot move through 1 and 2. Nemechek led. Now it's Hocevar in the span of about 20 seconds or so. That did not take long. We'll see if Nemechek's going to try to cross him back over again. He goes low into turn 3, but a block by Carson. Hocevar, when he was leading for the short bit in the late going of Dual Race 2 last night for Daytona 500 qualifying, he ended up throwing some risky blocks late in that race, nearly caused a couple of incidents, kept forward, finished second. Now, trying to do the same things up at the front of the field here. Do I stream every truck race? Yes, I do. Yeah, every truck, O'Reilly, and Cup race on the channel. Live commentary for all of the action. This week, with it being Daytona Speed Week, we do have ARCA as well. Qualifying practice for the Cup Series all season. So, yeah, packed. It's the place to be for your live NASCAR content. And we don't have any more racing withdrawals because the off season is no longer. Got nearly 200 people in the chat. That's quite a bit. This might be the most we've had for a truck race ever on the channel. A lot of hype things to keep an eye on, obviously, tonight. The All-Star cast of drivers, a new manufacturer back in Dodge Ram. And good racing to go along with it. 21 lead changes in the first 55. Completed laps were down to 45 laps to go. Carson Hocevar leads with Ty Majeski in second. John Hunter Nemechek third. Christian Eck is fourth. Tyler Ankrum rounds out the top 5. And 6 is Brendan Queen. Justin Haley 7th. Lane Riggs in 8th. Michael McDowell 9th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. currently rounds out our crop of the top 10. Full screen commercial break on Fox Sports 1 ongoing. We'll take a break of our own. You're listening live on KRC to full flag-to-flag coverage of the Fresh from Florida 250. caution free through stage 3 so far. Final fuel window going to open up in about 10 laps or so from now, so not sure that we're going to see any pit stops on the short side of that. Somebody chooses to go off strategy and attempts to do so, and maybe. We've seen this race go into overtime a bunch in the past, and knowing that that could be the case, I don't think we're going to see any green flag stops unless they absolutely have to. And especially with a younger field, a lot of these drivers don't have experience of trying to pit under green at Daytona, coming from speeds over 180 miles per hour and having to get it down to 55 by the commitment line at the front of pit road. That's a tough thing to do. We actually saw Casey Mears, Cup Series veteran, could be making his, well, was looking to make start 495 in the Daytona 500. Actually made his way into the race, but he spun trying to come to pit road in the midst of green flag pit stops in last night's dual race. So if it can happen in the Cup Series at the highest level, it definitely could happen right here in the Truck Series. It is not an easy thing to do without spinning those rear tires. So we talked about Hocevar getting to the lead right before the commercial break. Michael McDowell has since got himself back in the top 10, and he is surging forward on the bottom. Just pulled out of that snake accordion line on the outside. He is going to draft his way all the way up to third. He had a little bit of help when the 91 of Christian Eckes moved down right in front of him after the 7 pulled out. 7 still stays low to the inside, while the 77 and 91 go back up high again. Eckes gets a big shot from the 62 and Nemechek. They slip to the outside of Hocevar. Hocevar actually got loose. I think he was trying to throw a block. Everything's stacking up just behind them. That was a near incident waiting to happen. Hocevar still looks to be slow, and now he's spinning off turn 4. I wonder if he's got a tire down. He got very slow all of a sudden as he just got ran around by the leaders. Caution flag is going to be out. It's a lazy spin for Carson Hocevar. Waiting to see. Yeah, he does have a tire down the left rear. He's trying to get control of his race truck and get it back into the pits. Luckily, he's right off the exit of turn 4. He doesn't have to go very far, but he's going to be dragging some parts and pieces back into the pits with him. So Carson Hocevar, who has led the most laps, I believe, so far tonight, spins practically from the lead. He was leading moments ago, got passed on the outside, had a left rear tire going flat. That was crazy that that happened all at once. With him getting passed, then he was slow. Fishtailing into 3 and 4. Great job by drivers who were in the middle of the pack trying to evade inside and out to keep from getting into him. Then he finally spins and caution flag is out. Yeah, Tony Stewart's out of the race from the crash he had a little earlier in the going. Racing with Hunter G, thanks for tuning in. Good evening from Kannapolis, North Carolina. Update on Colt Butcher after the wreck. He hasn't been involved in anything tonight, so so far, clean truck for Butcher. And he's up in the top 10 and 9th, actually, right now. All right, well, third caution for incident today, 4th total in the race. Carson Hocevar's had an eventful night, to say the least. Up at the front, now he spins, and he's going to have to come from the back. Hopefully they can keep that truck on the lead lap. The good news is, where the tire went flat, it was right off the exit of turn 4, and he's able to keep his car pinned down to the bottom of the racetrack, and there was no damage from oncoming traffic, kept it off the wall. Hate to drag parts across the asphalt with a flat tire like that, so hopefully everything under the truck is going to be okay, and get a new rim on it, get off and rolling again. We are just outside of the fuel window to make it to the end if they were to pit now, though we are going to definitely see quite a few drivers at the back of the field pit. Crew chiefs may bring a lot of these trucks down onto pit road if they feel there's going to be a lot of cautions between now and the finish, where they can save enough fuel, pit here, and still make it. And we'll see when pit road opens this time by. It looks like they're going to be open this time. It looks like a lot of the leaders are coming in. So this could be the final stop of the night.
This race 22nd, the sixth position, and just one pit. Do not select your tires as you come into this pit box. Vernon's been radioing back to the team, but I feel like this truck is dancy out there. The crew chief was telling them that we know that we're getting you comfortable out there on this truck as we make adjustments. But Brennan radioed back and said, I'm just feeling more comfortable and learning a ton. Josh.
Well, Michael McDowell, a little trouble getting out of the next stall there, but he wanted possibly a track bar adjustment. Ultimately decided not to go with it and just go with fuel.
Down under Nemechek was a little bit tight early in the race. Good right now on that run. And the 91 of Christian Nexus driving good. They just took fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of splash and go pit stops there for the front runners, and those taking tires for more grip going to restart towards the back of the field. Yeah, Michael McDowell a little slow out of the box, just got his way back up in the top 5. The truck in front of him was kind of tailed outwards where the right rear quarter panel was towards the edge of the pit box, and he couldn't get out cleanly without having to back into the box and then exit again. We'll wait to see our running order update once they get back to the start-finish line this time by. We're going to have 39 laps to go. Less than 40 laps left when we get back racing. 22 lead changes, 4 cautions, about an hour and 18 minutes into this race. Past halfway. So a lot of teams that were drafting in the middle of the pack with Nemechek both in front and behind him noticed that he was very quick, and he was able to take the lead right before the caution came out. It's his first lead of the race. Now we'll really get to see how quick that race truck is. Well, he would have been the leader, but I think there was a couple trucks that stayed out. Looks like Travis Pastrana stayed out of the pit, so he's going to be the leader. If it stays green to the end, I don't think anybody's going to make it on fuel. So maybe that's the hope and strategy, and I'm surprised more drivers did not try that, especially with everybody coming in. I doubt we're going to stay green to the end. We usually don't see that with the truck race at Daytona. I mean, we're averaging a caution every 13 to 14 laps of green flag racing so far. We've had 21 caution laps, a third of this race, for what we've completed so far. Pastrana also could be staying out until they get the 1 to go signal and then pitting for fuel, which means he would restart at the tail end of the field, but he would have slightly more fuel than everybody else. And now that I'm actually thinking about this out loud, I think that that's more likely to happen than him just staying out completely.
Otani, Harper, Soto, Judge, an incredible lineup of superstars, and they're putting it all on the line for their countries. That's March 4th through the 17th on Fox and FS1. Bryce Harper is one of my favorites. A beast.
He's probably my favorite player, too,
Beautiful.
of anybody that doesn't play for my Tigers.
Kids aren't born, they're proven. But the groundskeepers, I have to give them a shout out. I mentioned it to you guys. You probably think I'm nerding out on it. But last night, this infield grass got destroyed on the left side. Casey Mears, a couple others went through it. I think he was like doing donuts in it, tearing up the grass, and they did an incredible job fixing it. That's all fresh from tonight, I believe. Cletus.
They just mowed it, and I would agree with you on a couple things. They did a great job with the grass. You can still kind of see the donuts right there, but I mean, you called yourself a nerd, so I'll just agree with you.
Hey, I hang out with my kind.
That's right.
Butcher in his box. See what I did there?
You see a lot of truck coming out pit road again, just topping it off one more time, just trying to get every last drop of fuel before we go back green. This is the one to go. They're choosing right now. All these trucks said, I'm just going to take just a little bit more gas.
So 37 laps to go, guys. Next time by.
Yeah, that's more than a couple trucks. That's 3/4 of the field right there. That tells you how tight this pit window is on fuel.
So you're feeling pretty good. Things are. Go right, right there.
Not
Maybe
unless,
another caution or
not unless we have some cautions. You're gonna need to really take care of the fuel right here. It'll be interesting to see if they learn what happens with the fuel savings method as and understanding how many laps they need to save.
Ford Racing on board for Chandler Smith, currently 19th. But 7 laps tonight. I hear him shutting it off right there.
It's acting funny. I don't know if he shut it off or not. Maybe he did, but yeah, I mean, I think what's tough for these teams, right? You know, these Cup guys. Yeah, he's cutting it off, trying to coast. The Cup guys have their fuel mileage really scienced out, right? These guys that just focus on fuel mileage are really, really good at it. Remember, the Truck Series is a stepping stones series, right? This is not the best of the best. It's not the top, right? Everyone's learning here. They don't have it scienced out to down to the last drop of how much fuel they are burning throughout the race, how much they are saving. It's an educated guess. And who can do that the best? And how do you know when you don't know you're out of gas until you're out of gas. So there's not much of a warning.
Definitely not as much technology in the Truck Series, right, Joey?
No.
Well, you see right here, the lineup is going to look a little bit funky because when you pit for the second time, you go to the tail end of the longest line, and that's why you only see those first 3 rows double file.
That's crazy.
The lineup single file.
So Tanner Gray, Justin Haley on the inside in the 16.
And all those trucks being single file is going to really change the complexion of this restart and how these trucks get
Whoa.
How these front 4 trucks are spread out and so far away. I would say most likely what's going to happen is they're going to get lined up and get a huge run on those first 4 trucks.
They're going to start, you see them, they're more single file for long, and they're going to get still these big runs, and they're going to have to pick a lane. Right, here we go. Here's the huge runs coming right here. Look,
Oh, they're moving up in front.
Back there.
One of them.
Didn't take long at all. John Hunter Nemechek has done an incredible job tonight for Halmar Friesen, running that second truck with them.
Well, you can just see his confidence in that truck and the way that he's able to just push and do the things that he's done. Every time they get behind, they find themselves right back at the front of the pack.
I just laugh how spread out they were 1 lap ago. They come by, they're 3 wide and 1 big butt.
And that's truck racing. These things just get in critical drafts, and when you can push correctly, you can make up so much ground because of the amount of speed that it picks up when 2 trucks are connected.
Tanner Gray's been really impressive tonight. He's been in the hunt, guys. He's been there most of this race. You see Justin Haley, who restarted first, sliding back just a little bit.
And you see John Hunter push him out there. You see that truck come back to him, and you know this more than anybody, Joey. You don't want to get yourself too far out. You'll drag some brake and really look in that mirror to make sure that you don't leave so much space that you just get driven by.
Right, look at that 88 truck right now. He just broke free. He's going to have a run. He can either take the run or he's just going to be happy where he's at. He's got to make a decision right now. And it looks like he's okay where he's at. But he had the opportunity to do something, and he decided to hang.
Now you see that 12 truck again of Vernon Queen right there. So he is definitely learning a lot. He's doing a great job. He's not put himself in any bad spots. And as we get towards the end of this race, he's going to hopefully put himself in a position to have a chance as we get towards the end.
Corey LaJoy in the 75 up there with a nice push to Justin Haley.
Let's remember, Justin Haley's a good speedway racer as well. He's used to racing up front. He knows what to do. There's a very late block. They got away with one there.
Yeah, Corey LaJoy there in the 75 truck. We referenced it earlier about his aggression and the things that he can do on a super speedway as well. We've seen it many times on Sunday. We've seen it in this truck, and a lot of contenders with a lot of experience up towards the front of this pack.
Gio Ruggiero, first time he's found himself up in the top 5 in that 17 truck, finished second here last year in his first time out in a truck. Went on to win at Talladega. They're getting not too close back there on the inside.
Back clear, back clear.
Yeah, you see that bed flap right there stuck straight up in the air on Justin Haley's truck.
We mentioned how good Justin Haley is around here. 2 wins in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, 1 Cup Series victory. Scott McDonough at Talladega.
And it's really really unique with these trucks because there's like a in between those down bars in the back where that flap is stuck straight up in the air. It's almost a low pressure zone, and almost the air will circle right there and almost pull those doors up sometimes. And it looks like that one is definitely locked open.
Look at that.
Sorry, Jamie. I was looking at the field, and it looks fairly calm right now. And I see a lot of this is the first time I've seen this whole race is where some people are content where they are, and it makes me think they're saving a little bit of gas.
Yeah.
A lot of gas wide open. They're able to save a little bit. Let's put a little bit in the bank. If I can get myself put 5th or 6th in line and stay there and save a few drops of gas, maybe save me a lap or 2 for later in the race, not a bad call right now.
Could be.
Here with us and his enthusiasm and excitement for being part of this ramp program, being back in NASCAR. They're leading this race, and it's the first time Ramp has led in the Truck Series since 2014. Holland Racing, job well done. So much work and effort. So many hiring of employees to get here. 5 trucks in the field, 5 trucks full time this year.
And you see everybody at the top of the racetrack. And I used to call this the Dale Jr. line. Was all of a sudden. So I believe this number on the bottom right here, where it's at on my screen right here, I can't touch the monitor, but that bottom right percentage on the dash right there, I believe that's the throttle percentage. So you can see it right now at 99.5. That's basically going to be right at. You see it start to dip down right there, 40s, 50s. That's the throttle percentage, and being able to sit in this pack like that, that's what they have to do is dip out of that throttle right now to get themselves a couple laps full of fuel.
We're 11 half right now.
A couple of laps to save fuel. I'll spit it out right here at some point.
30 laps to go here. Justin Haley continues to lead over Tanner Gray, John Hunter Nemechek, Gio Ruggiero, and the 88 of Ty Majeski. That's a 9 grand anything.
Flat tire.
Looks like the same situation. Maybe
Looks like it's the right rear this time, though.
Yeah, you can see the carcass of that right rear tire flopping around, I believe, right there.
We don't know what cut it down, right? Could be low air pressure, everyone being, maybe aggressive. It could be just bumping into each other. There's a lot of contact throughout the draft. You get a little rub. We could cut it down.
Brent Enfinger, one of 2 former winners here at Daytona. He was running 10th at the time that the tire let go. We stayed green. He keeps it straight.
So what you see here is, some guys were content with saving a little bit of gas. You also got others that are saying, I'm too far back. I got to get up there a little bit. That's what you see that bottom line doing.
There's another look at that 9 truck at Grant Enfinger. There goes the carcass.
Yeah, and he wanted that tire to roll to the right.
Yes.
He wanted that tire to roll up the racetrack, not down the racetrack, because they will consider that out of the way.
Did you see that hit?
Oh, they're
Michael McDowell getting aggressive.
They are going to get more and more aggressive until somebody wrecks at the end of this race, because the harder you push, the faster that truck is going to go in front of you.
3 wide. 28 laps to go from Daytona. We're going to step aside, but you won't miss a thing. We're going side by side.
All right, we're going to go through the full field running order here as they are under a commercial break on Fox Sports 1. Justin Haley taking over the race lead in the late going at Daytona with just 28 laps to go. Tanner Gray is in second after finishing second in stage 1. John Hunter Nemechek is in third. Corey LaJoie fourth. Gio Ruggiero rounds out the top 5 in fifth. 6th is Christian Eckes, Tyler Ankrum 7th. 8th is Ty Majeski, Lane Riggs 9th, and Michael McDowell rounds out the top 10. And 11th is Brendan Queen, Chandler Smith 12th, Taylor Gray 13th, Cole Butcher 14th, Andres Perez 15th, Caden Honeycutt in 16th, 17th is Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Stuart Friesen in 18th, Dawson Sutton 19th, and Nick Lights is 20th. 21st for Ben Rhodes, Travis Pastrana is in 22nd. Make that 23rd now, Chris Wright 22nd. 24th is Daniel Dye, Minnie Terrell in 25th. Spencer Boyd 26th, Frankie Muniz 27th, 28th for Josh Reum, Clay Greenfield 29th, Jason Kitzmiller 30th. Just was slow on the back straightaway that last time by. I think he too also has a flat tire. Carson Hocevar is the first truck a lap down in 31st, and Jason M. White is 32nd. Grant Enfinger 33rd after having a flat right rear tire under green flag conditions, but we still stay green. 2 laps down is Daniel Hemrick. He got 2 of his 4 laps back under the last couple cautions, but now with multiple drivers a lap down, it's going to be difficult for him to get back on the lead lap. Behind Hemrick in 35th is Jake Garcia, who's 4 laps down, still on track after a crash earlier. Tony Stewart taken out in that same accident. 36 is out of the race. Cletus McFarland, lap 6 crash for him. He is also out of the race, last in 37th. That's your full field running order rundown. Lane Riggs now has a flat tire, so flat tires abundant here at Daytona. First one was Carson Hocevar before the last caution. Then he was the caution for spinning, trying to get back towards pit road. And now we've had 3 flat tires during this green flag run, all in the course of the last 6 or 7 laps. Maybe even less than that. 25 laps to go this time by a mostly single file line across the racetrack in this lead pack, all trying to save some fuel. That last caution ended up coming out with just over 40 laps to go, so they topped off right before we went green at about 38 laps to go. The estimated fuel window is 32 to 36 laps. So, can they save enough to make it to the end if we do stay green? I think that's why we see a lot of that single file racing going on right now. There are 5 trucks down on the bottom of the racetrack. Lane Riggs has finally made his way back to pit road on the front stretch. Left front tire is down. Fender was sparking, bringing his way into the pits. He's definitely going to fall off the lead lap. He was kind of leading several trucks in the 3rd lane. It looked like contact actually cut the left front tire down for Riggs. So it might not have been as much of a balance or air pressure issue. There was a lap truck along the bottom a few laps ago, which was Jason M. White. And that truck was not on the WL line, was slightly above it as the field was racing by. In that area, they were already 3 wide. So in the midst of going 4 wide down the backstretch, it looked like it was contact between Ankrum and Riggs that ended up cutting that left front tire down for Riggs. So my championship pick is down right now after finishing 2nd in stage 1. 23 laps left as things are winding down quickly. The Daytona International Speedway. Roughly 95 minutes into the race from the drop of the green flag when we started things off at lap 1 to where we're at right now, lap 78. Roughly 95 minutes into the race from the drop of the green flag. All right.
Well, Jamie, and you guys talk about Ram being back in NASCAR. Well, also, Justin Haley back in the Truck Series, and I had a chance to catch up with him earlier today. He said, yeah, it was really tough getting released. He had moved his way up to the Cup Series. You know, he had success. He had won at Daytona. So when he got let go, he really had to think about what he wanted to do. He said he had several offers, but remembered the success he had with Colleague. It was a no-brainer for him to come over to Ram, to work with Colleague again, and come back here to win races. And right now, he's leading the field with 22 to go and feeling really good about his truck.
Yeah, Josh, great update. Great. I mean, to come back to the truck series, you got to swallow your pride a little bit. John Hunter Nemechek did it, but he knows he's going to be in a competitive truck, and this makes it all worth it, right? He has a shot at a win.
And I believe this is a little bit different, right? Like I think what's been happening.
77 person.
Carson Hocevar spins again. Not sure if it was a flat tire. His left rear is flat right now. I'm not sure if that was the cause of the spin or if that was after the slide, but the yellow flag has been displayed with just 21 laps to go. I would imagine we're going to see a lot of pit stops here to ensure that drivers are going to make it on fuel. Some may stay out, try to risk it for track position, and make it with what they already have in the car.
I wonder what's going on with these flat tires right now. Is something rubbing? That's a couple.
So what do you think right here, Joey? Do you come in and just take a quick splash to cover yourself for a green white checker, or do you bank on what you had saved right there?
Who am I and what place am I in? Right? And I think those are the questions you have to ask. If you're Ricky Stenhouse Jr., you're 17th, you have nothing to lose, might as well top it off, right? You're not racing for points. If I'm in the top 5, man, without knowing their full situation and what their fuel mileage is up here in the booth, it'd be hard to give up that track position with 20 laps to go.
Take another look here. The 77 Carson Hocevar.
Yeah, we think there's either, you see it again. That left rear tire is already flat. That's at least 2 for him. And we've seen several other trucks have a ton of flat tires tonight. So this is definitely an odd scenario with all the tire trouble that we have seen.
Hocevar has had a wild ride tonight. Drove from the back to the front twice. Then he cut the tire. That's why he was so far in the field again.
And he hasn't hit anything yet. That's the wild part.
He hasn't hit nothing. I mean, he was a lap down from the last time. He was just trying to get that lucky dog. And now, another left rear. It's kind of odd to see 2 left rears like that. This makes you think something's up.
Great job.
Yeah, great job. Great way to save it.
Well, watch those, as you watch that replay, you can see those front tires start to lock up and unlock and lock back up. And that's really him trying to control that truck of not trying to let it go back up the racetrack or down the racetrack. And just a great job driving right there by Hocevar.
Picking up some debris on the track. Pit road is open.
Well, I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm sure the back half of the field, tops off, but man, the leaders are tough.
I should have asked that question differently. I should have said, what would Paul do?
Yeah, Paul's staying out.
Of course, Paul whooped Joey Logano's crew chief on Sunday.
So a lot of them stayed out. So a lot of them feel pretty confident that they're going to make it. Now, the only thing I think about is green white checker, right? A little bit of overtime finishes. Be nice to have a little bit extra gas for that.
Well, they heard you, Joey. Back half, a lot of takers. But our leaders stay out. We'll be back with Daytona.
Less than 20 laps to go at the Daytona International Speedway. Most of the leaders staying out of the pits. Back half of the field will have a chance to come in, top off. They're definitely going to be good on fuel to the end of the race. So we should see how the rest of this is going to go when we get back racing again. 26 lead changes, 5 cautions. This is our 5th. Second for Carson Hocevar having a spin because of a flat tire. This one is left rear, just like the last time. Hour 40 minutes into the race, 19 laps to go. 24 of the 81 laps completed so far have been spent under the yellow flag. Our current top 10 is Justin Haley in the lead, Tanner Gray in second, Jonathan Nemechek third, Gio Ruggiero in fourth, Ty Majeski rounds out the top 5 in fifth, sixth is Brennan Queen, Taylor Gray in seventh, Andres Perez eighth, Stuart Friesen in ninth, and 10th place is Chandler Smith. We'll slide in another break here while we're under caution again late. Maybe this is the final yellow of the race. We'll have to wait and see. You're listening live on KRC to the Fresh from Florida 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. All right. Is Joey, Joey, by chance wearing a hat in the booth, or is he going commando? Yeah, he's going commando. No hat with the suit and tie today. I haven't been pulling off any suits or ties during these live commentary streams. Otherwise, I'd probably end up having the commando mode on the scalp as well.
On box. We got a couple guys. Got the job done. How about this, Harm? I remember this.
That was a great day, actually. Just a wild finish there.
This is a great one too. Same sponsor.
What's the kind? That's what I was going to
Pretty neat. It's been a while though.
It's hard to explain what the difference in winning this race is compared to any other race. I mean, you grab that Harley J. Earl trophy and you start looking at the names on the big trophy, and it's the who's who of NASCAR racing, and pretty awesome event to stand in victory lane.
You can't describe it. And the things that just keep rolling, right? Like even when you come back here years later, out front here by the museum, your handprints and your foot and like everything that they put in the concrete. It's just a lot of really cool things that just keep adding up after you've won the Daytona 500, right? When you get introduced, it's NASCAR champion and Daytona 500 champion, right? Like those are the two things that the sport cares about the most.
Have you been back out to see your hands and feet?
It doesn't look good anymore.
Okay. I've never been out to.
You've never done that?
No,
You should do
walked
that.
back
I
out
did.
there.
I went out there with my kids and they were putting their handprints in there.
Sure, they take their car right away and then it ends up in the museum just the way they left it, with all the confetti and all the beer or whatever it may be. But what a moment. I remember that both for you guys. And they always say that winning the Great American Race just changes your life forever. And you guys, you can tell in your reflection that it truly does.
Well, it's just it's a race that you work all winter to prepare for, and you're not going to see any other race that every vehicle in the field is as well prepared as it is to come to Daytona. So it's a special race. It means so much to our sport and everything that it was built on. And you walk into the speedway. One of my favorite moments from the weekend so far was bringing Will Buxton here for the first time. He'd never been to the Daytona International Speedway, and when I brought him here, he was like a kid in a candy store. He's down there taking pictures. He's like, "Mate, I can't believe how tall the grandstands are." And I'm like, "Man, this is so cool because we're here every year."
Get used
And
to
you
it.
kind of get used to everything that's happening. So it's great to see and hear that enthusiasm from somebody.
And Will Buxton, of course, F1 legend broadcaster, and now he's play-by-play for the IndyCar series. So it's great to see him here. Well, Travis Pastrana, we haven't talked about him. He's having a quiet night. Let's listen to his radio.
All clear.
Sir?
Gave me the horns.
He's right.
Hey, I tell you what, he's still got that thing in one piece, and considering everything that's been going on, I'd say he's doing a good job. Long ways to go here, though. 17 laps around Daytona. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that is a long time.
Tanner Gray, Justin Haley up front. Just unbelievable. We've been talking about Ram coming back into the truck series, for about 6 months now. And here they are tonight. Justin Haley has led 20 laps. He'll restart on the outside here. Ty Majeski, John Hunter Nemechek, Brendan Quinn, Gio Ruggiero, Andres Perez up there in the top 10.
I just think business is going to pick up here. I think the fuel save stuff's over. It's time to start pressing and getting that track position.
I agree, Joey. I think that as you look towards the front of the field, Justin Haley, I think Ty Majeski has had one of the best pushing trucks and fastest trucks all night. It's just going to come down to that experience on the inside lane there with John Hunter Nemechek. He's been the best pusher all night.
Yes.
He and Carson Hocevar.
Still freezing up high. There's Michael McDowell still digging.
Yeah, he's been digging out of a hole a couple of times tonight.
As the leader crosses the line, we've reached our Craftsman. 15 to go. It's Tanner Gray out front.
Remember, Tanner Gray qualified up front, so he's got a pretty fast truck. So when you put a fast truck out the wind, it can really lead a lane well. And you see that, like, he's not really keeping John Hunter that close to him. You see he got away, now John Hunter's back to him. He's not doing much to manage that, but he's got a really fast truck.
Tanner Gray, one of those drivers.
Wow.
Short, never got that first career win. What if it happened tonight at Daytona?
Well, we've seen some pretty surprising moments here at Daytona. I don't think it would be quite as surprising as some of the wins that we've seen here in the truck series, but always good to come back with that experience from the previous year and not have to learn all the things that he learned last year on the racetrack and at these super speedways and all the lessons that he learned. But like you said earlier, he's got the speed in that truck. We saw that in the first stage and the fact that he's been up there all night. So there's a lot of things that could happen, and he could very well win this race tonight.
Josh, tell us more about Tanner Gray.
Well, Kevin talks about winning races. When I caught up with Tanner earlier today, his 7th season in the truck series, he said, point blank, period, I have to win races this season. This is the year we get over the hump. And a big thing for him, Jeff Henson was crew chief. 2nd year in a row they get to work together. Not often in his career has he had that consistency with the crew chief. He said Jeff has been so instrumental in teaching him so much. A big reason why we're seeing him come out the gate so strong.
I think it was the 13 truck of Colt Butcher just getting loose off of turn 4 on the bottom lane of the racetrack. Same spot that we saw Cletus McFarland spin and crash against the inside retaining wall all the way back at lap 6. Luckily, he was just able to save it down to the bottom of the track. Had to use a little bit of the apron, re-entered the racetrack before getting into the tri-oval, lost a few positions. Got very close to the truck that was just to his outside, who I believe was Christian Eckes in the 91. And did a great job steering away from him, correcting the race truck down to the bottom. And another great job correcting the truck for Justin Haley at the front of the outside line that is falling in numbers. Hocevar spins for the 3rd time as he tried to move down to the bottom lane, gets clipped. And I believe he's going to be headed for pit road. We do stay green, no caution. Leaders are getting strung out right now. About a 6-car group of single-file race trucks ahead of the double-wide and 3-wide pack behind them. Hocevar has spun 3 times and hasn't hit a thing all 3 times. Minus the car that he kind of turned himself off of. He was moving down as the 88 was losing momentum in front of him, and he just moved down too far with the trucks already underneath. Carson had lost 1 lap during each of the 2 spins he had earlier, and might end up losing another one right now. Caden Honeycutt in the 11 moving out of the outside lane of single-file race trucks. He was in 6th place. He did take Justin Haley in the 16 truck along with him. So 2 trucks down on the bottom for now. There's a couple others lagging further behind, trying to play a little bit of catch-up. And they are going to very quickly, so much so that they're just going to go all the way to the double yellow line and bypass the 11 and the 16 themselves. Brendan Queen was the push truck in that. Can't tell from the aerial shot who the 2nd place truck was. It actually looks like it was the 91, Christian Eckes. Fox is on a side-by-side commercial break with just 9 laps to go. 10 laps to go, scratch that, here at Daytona. Tanner Gray leads in the outside line. It is single file no longer. Double wide at the very front. 3 wide up the middle goes Michael McDowell. Eckes pulls up right in front of him, gets a push, a little squirrely. Hangs onto it, stays in the gas. The 62 also with a push from behind. He was a second truck in line on the outside. He had Taylor Gray all over him just to give the shot to Tanner Gray just in front. Both the Gray brothers up in the top half dozen. Tanner Gray going down to try to side draft Eckes as Eckes got his way to the front of that inside line. Had the bumper out in front. Gray that last lap was able to beat Eckes back to the start-finish line. Only by about 0.12 of a second. Top 10 in the running order with just 9 laps to go holds Tanner Gray in the lead. Christian Eckes in second. Michael McDowell in third. Fourth is John Hunter Nemechek. Caden Honeycutt in fifth. Gio Ruggiero in sixth. Justin Haley seventh. Taylor Gray eighth. Chandler Smith ninth. Stuart Friesen rounds out the top 10. 4 of the 5 Tricon garage trucks are up inside the top 10 right now. So they definitely have the numbers game for the Toyota brigade. And there's another Toyota of the Friesen Hallmark team, the 62 of John Hunter, who has been very fast all night. And is second place right now as he throws a big block entering turn 1 on Taylor Gray, who tried to make a pass for second. That winds everybody up. Tanner Gray, the leader, is getting well out ahead of the pack. Taylor Gray might get hung out to dry here shortly. Same for Tanner, who gets eaten up by the pack of trucks around him. Everybody's all over the place. So much going on at once. Blocks all over the place for first, for second. Over-under move by Michael McDowell. Went to go high. He got blocked there. Still had the momentum. Stayed in the gas. Made another move to the inside and was able to bypass Eckes for the lead. We haven't seen Michael McDowell up in front since stage 1 when he led the first 13 laps of the race. He is back out in front now as he made his way through the pack, but he doesn't have his teammate Carson Hocevar with him this time. Right now he's got the 91 of Christian Eckes on his back bumper. We're down to about 6.5 laps to go this time down the back straightaway. 3x3 racing, most of which up at the front of this pack. I mean, trucks have been getting loose, barely holding onto it because of these pushes being off-center. They've done a great job with car control. Risky blocks at that. Nobody's able to take control of this race. Can Christian Eckes be the one to do so from the lead? He's getting quite a ways out ahead through the center of the tri-oval. So much so that Michael McDowell will pull past after a great push from behind by Caden Honeycutt in the 11, who's still searching for his first career win. And we're nose-to-nose for the lead. And 2x2 through about the top 10. And a couple rows of 3 wide just outside the top 10. As we round out of turn 2 and now down the back straightaway. They'll be coming up on 5 laps to go this time by. Got to make sure those pushes are center. Quite a few times I've seen 3 trucks kind of pushing each other at once, and that's where we can really see some accordion effect and some accidents happen. So far, things have gone okay. Not sure that that will continue, though, if they keep doing that. Inside line has pulled way ahead of the outside lane trucks. Christian Eckes in the 91 started going backwards. Chandler Smith has picked him up in the draft. And Tanner Gray, who was leading a few laps ago, is the 3rd truck in line on the outside. Top 3 are single file on the bottom. That would be McDowell, Honeycutt, and Haley. Taylor Gray also clear now in 4th. Eckes is going backwards. He's going to need to get a big push down the back straightaway by Chandler Smith in the 38. And he is going to push him. 17 pulls out of line right in front of Eckes. Now pulls back to the bottom. Fake move. Looked like he was going to maybe stall that line up. Try to lead himself to the front, but not going to happen there. As we work our way to the exit of turn 4, one truck going to spin. And that's going to cause a crash towards the back of this lead pack. That would be the 1 of Taylor Gray. Dawson Sutton goes around along with Spencer Boyd. There was one of the Dodge Ram trucks got pinched against the outside wall as well. I believe a 4-truck incident at the tail end of the pack. And this caution with just 4 laps to go at Daytona Michael McDowell, the race leader, and we are headed to overtime. And this is where fuel becomes an issue for a lot of those that have stayed out. And we're already going to be stretching the window. We only had one caution between when they pitted with about 38 laps to go to where we're at now. And we're going past the scheduled distance with this yellow flag. Oh boy. Oh boy. And you just hope that a lot of the drivers at the front of the field are going to be able to save and save enough, and you hope that it goes green the rest of the way so that way they don't run into any issues where they're having fuel problems on the restart, stacking things up and causes potentially a big crash. Because it doesn't really look like there was much fuel saving that went on from the restart with 16 to go in that 12th green flag lap run to 4 to go before the yellow. Under caution at Daytona. All right, well. '88 truck pushing in the middle of the corners what caused that incident. Nothing that Taylor Gray could have done different there. I mean, he was just riding in his own line. Ty Majeski pushes him in the middle of the corner and then sent him around. Slammed into the inside truck below him of Dawson Sutton. Spencer Boyd was also down on the bottom. For a brief moment, they kind of slid up towards the wall. I believe it was Tyrell in the 14 was the Dodge that ended up against the wall. Take another look here. He was able to miss the one, but he had to go against the wall to miss the one truck. So I'm not sure how much damage Tyrell has, and it also looks like Travis Pastrana might have had a slight scrub against the fence also. So they're definitely going to come to pit road. They were towards the tail end of the pack anyway. Where this crash happened was at the tail end of the lead pack. Ty Majeski right now is running in 17th. So, I mean, it was about 17th place where the crash transpired. And there weren't that many trucks behind them. And only 25 on the lead lap now. Obviously, a couple were involved in that crash that have fallen off the lead lap, like Gray and Sutton. And Spencer Boyd looks like he might be falling off the lead lap shortly also. Well, setting up for a 2-lap to go overtime restart. Michael McDowell is the race leader. Caden Honeycutt is second. Justin Haley third. Gio Ruggiero fourth. And John Hunter Nemechek rounds out the top 5. We're going to take our final break of the stream while we're awaiting the next and potentially final restart as we head to NASCAR overtime for the Craftsman Truck Series season opener at Daytona, the Fresh from Florida 250. Don't go anywhere. Things are just getting good. Well, they have been good, but now they're even more good. Michael McDowell leads. Spire Motorsports started off the day strong up at the front of the field. And as we get closer to the end, we have one truck in McDowell up at the front of the field again late. Michael Michael McDowell trying to join the list of drivers who have won in the Truck, O'Reilly, and Cup Series in his NASCAR career. Only win he has to gain is a truck win. He's got 2 career Cup wins. I know he won a Road America O'Reilly Series race back in the early 2010s. And now trying to go for his first career truck win. So we'll see if he can do it. That list of drivers that have won across all 3 series, I believe, is barely above 30. So not many have done it. Despite having single-digit wins across the board, he's looking to put his name on that list. 2 of those wins coming right here at Daytona with the 500 a couple years ago in 2021 and trying to get the truck race win in 2026. Finished 5th in his duel last night. It's been a great start to the week for Michael McDowell. Looking to build on that here under the lights at Daytona. 1 to go signal has been given to the teams, so they're going through the choose rule. As they get lined up at the front of the field, I believe McDowell has taken the outside of row 1. He's taken the outside row every time he has been on the front row for a restart. But it's all about how good of a push you get from behind as to whether or not he's going to be able to actually stay up at the front or get ahead of the pack. Because Hocevar gave him a good push on the initial start, and then the restart he had after that when he was the leader, Hocevar was on the inside of row 1. He got a better push from behind by Tanner Gray at the time. My mistake, by the way, McDowell actually took the inside of row 1, not the outside. Caden Honeycutt will be the outside of the first row. So Honeycutt and Taylor Gray on the outside of rows 1 and 2. They're both Tricon Garage teammates. And the push truck behind the 7 of McDowell is going to be the 16 Dodge Ram of Justin Haley. Dodge's return race to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series 12 years after their most recent race in the Truck Series. Yes, they legitimately have a shot to go to victory lane here with Justin Haley. He's led some laps at various times in this final stage, and he's up at the front. Problem is, he doesn't have a teammate anywhere near him. Next closest is Butterbean Queen, just outside of the top 10. We'll see what's going to happen on this restart. 25 trucks on the lead lap with a shot to win here at Daytona and cement their name in history as winning at the World Center of Racing. It doesn't matter what series it is, you win at Daytona, it is a big deal. And there are quite a few drivers at the front of the field that have never won in the Craftsman Truck Series. Like a McDowell, even a Cup regular. Green flag is back in the air. If they get to the white flag, the next flag would end the race, whether it's a yellow or a checker. And if a caution comes out before them, we'll rack them and stack them again. Caution on the final lap ends the race. Gridlock 2x2 working their way up through the gears. And as they work their way through 1 and 2, Taylor Gray is still locking on to that back bumper of the 11 of Caden Honeycutt. Now let's go to the exit of turn 2. John Hunter Nemechek got a big push on the outside lane, middle of the pack from the 38. There is pushing everywhere in every line. Caden Honeycutt out in front of the field into turns 3 and 4. Field at speed as they exit off of turn 4. Big move by McDowell. He sideways and spins off turn 4. Away from the pack. We stay green at Daytona. We're coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Top 3 trucks are single file and ahead of the pack. John Hunter Nemechek storming up the bottom lane. Gets blocked by the 38 truck of Chandler Smith. Splits to the outside. Christian Eckes was the one pushing him on the bottom and then moved high. We'll see if Nemechek can get it done. He's had a fast truck all night. He's in 3rd. Going for 2nd. Now Taylor Gray gets bumped out of the way. Well down below the double yellow line. Trying to force his way back up in front as up the middle goes Nemechek. Eckes has followed him every step of the way. Pushed him to the lead. Now can Nemechek hold on? A bump and a bang between the 17 and 91 per second as they head for the exit of turn 4. A block to the bottom now by Nemechek. Staying on the 17 of Taylor Gray. 3 wide. They're coming through the tri-oval. 4 wide. To the bottom. Chandler Smith steals it. With a push from Ty Majeski, and Chandler Smith is going to win at Daytona. Oh my gosh, how did they not crash there? 4 wide. I don't know if they were 4 wide at the stripe, but they were 4 wide headed into the tri-oval, and Chandler Smith, with help from Ty Majeski, the Blue Ovals, tag team the rest of the field around them and win. Unbelievable. My pick wins the race. Chandler Smith wins stage 2. He wins the season opener at Daytona. What a night. Failed to make the Daytona 500 last night in the Cup Series redemption today. And a pretty solid points day to start the season at that. Gets the 55 points for the win. He gets another 10 with a stage win. What a great performance. And a lot of help from Ty Majeski, who also had a good points day. Top 5 in all 3 stages this evening. Finishing in 4th, but pushing Smith to victory. There was contact and a lot of a slow up for the 3 trucks that were initially 3 wide when they headed for the exit of turn 4. You're going to hear from our race winner, Chandler Smith, in a few moments. And we will go through the finishing order shortly thereafter. 44 hundredths of a second, the margin of victory between Chandler Smith and Gio Ruggiero at the stripe. Crazy. After a nearly 4 wide finish in the Cup summer race at Daytona last year, where Ryan Blaney won, nearly the same thing in the Truck Series here today, also won by a Ford Chandler Smith. 2 hours, 5 minutes, 59 seconds total time on the race. Overtime as we went past the scheduled distance by a few laps. 6 cautions, 32 lead changes, and 31 laps spent under the yellow. Showing a replay of exactly how this happened. Final lap of the race, it was Caden Honeycutt leading, believe it or not, down the back straightaway. Taylor Gray went to make a block on Nemechek, got turned off of his front bumper, saved it, while Eckes was pushing Nemechek up the middle to get to the lead. Then Eckes holds back to try to get a run. Has to block Taylor Gray, couldn't do it. Gray gets underneath him. Nemechek swings low to block Gray off turn 4. Bottom lane of the racetrack is Nemechek. Gray sandwiches himself between him and the 91. Contact between the 3 trucks, nearly wrecking, slowing all 3 of their momentum down, and enough space for Chandler Smith on the bottom, with the 3 trucks up high making contact to the line, to get pushed by Ty Majeski and win the race. Hole opened up, and from 4th to 1st in the last couple hundred feet. Chandler Smith on the front stretch at Daytona, climbing out of his race truck. He had 2 wins last year in the Truck Series. And he gets 1 right off the bat here in 2026. What a speed week he has had. Roller coaster of the last 24 hours for Chandler Smith. Here is your race winner of the Fresh from Florida 250.
Smile on your face. Let's hear from our winner.
Well, Chandler Smith out of the truck, celebrating with your team in what was an absolutely wild finish here at Daytona. Turn 4 to the start-finish line. You're 4 wide. How did you find your way to the front there?
First off, I want to shout out all glory to God. Without him, this race team, none of this would be possible. And I am super, super grateful that I serve such a loving God that blessed me with such a good group of men and women around me at Front Row Motorsports. Ty Majeski, debatably one of my best Ford teammates I've ever worked with. He is all credit to how we just won that race, truthfully. He stayed committed to it forward and pushed a blue oval to a win. So have some people back at home that's struggling a little bit. Rory Smith, buddy. I know that we talked about, maybe making it to the Daytona 500, but hopefully this does a little better justice for you. So
just really happy we got Trophy Catch on here. This was our first ever NASCAR race, and was debating on if they were going to do more. So hopefully those guys, I know they're just raising Cane up in the stands right now. They're having a great time. Just super grateful for everybody on this number 38 Ford F-150 group. We made some changes on the off season. I felt like last year, everybody for the most part knows how this 38 group came together last year, but we built on it and made this group so much better for this year. And I'm so excited for 2026.
Take me back to the start finish line as you're coming up 4 wide there, and the bottom opens up. What is going through your mind when that happens and you can see the checkered flag?
I was surprised the 62 didn't block it. I was just, the C's literally just parted, and the 88 stay committed to me. And like I said, thank you, Ty Majeski. Definitely got to owe you one on that one.
Chandler Smith, your winner in Daytona.
Avery, and the runner-up is Gio Ruggiero, and you've been pretty quiet over here, but you said Daytona, it is what it is. When you look back at that finish, I know you just saw a replay. How tight was it there for you?
Yeah, it was tight there at the end of the race. You know, everybody's just trying to do whatever it takes to win, and that's what I did for myself and my team. So probably would have pushed John Hunter to the win there, but, you know, he almost wrecked me twice. So I think overall as a group, we need to do better as Toyotas. I thought me and Tanner and Taylor worked together really well, but everybody else just seemed like they were out there on their own. So I definitely think we learned some things going into the next super speedway.
Josh?
Over here with John Hunter Nemechek, and John Hunter have to settle for a 5th place finish after controlling the race over that final lap. Walk me through what happened there.
I haven't seen the full replay yet, but I'm pretty frustrated with myself. Just hard to cover all the lanes there. Should have got to the middle and blocked the 17 a little bit faster than I did. Didn't anticipate it quite like I probably should have off of turn 4, but man, it was one heck of a race. It was a lot of fun all night. We came from the back to the front multiple times. Thank you to DriveValue.com, EPI, all of their partners, Legacy for letting me come run this race for Hallmark Reason Racing, and huge shout out to Toyota, Toyota Racing, and thankful to be a part of truck racing again in this Tundra. Like I said, it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot. So hopefully I can apply something to Sunday. Hayden and I will probably go back and watch some film there. But overall, a really fun race. Just dejected we didn't come home with a checkered flag.
Now John Hunter gets to turn his attention towards the Daytona 500, JB.
All right, there you heard some interviews. Top 2 finishers of Chandler Smith, Gio Ruggiero, then 5th place, John Hunter Nemechek. He was leading off turn 4, somehow ended up 5th. I can't believe he pulled back that far in the last few hundred feet. Definitely a lot of momentum lost with the contact. And Caden Honeycutt, who was leading down the back straightaway, ends up finishing in 8th. Last lap pass for the win in the last few hundred feet from 4th to 1st, Chandler Smith with the race win. We'll go through the rest of the finishing order before we wrap this stream up here. So Smith with the win, Gio Ruggiero finishes 2nd, Christian Eck is 3rd, Ty Majeski 4th, and 5th was John Hunter Nemechek. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. slides in with the top 10 and 6th. Brendan Queen in his debut with Dodge Ram finishes 7th. Caden Honeycutt 8th. Tyler Ankrum 9th. And Stuart Friesen rounds out the top 10. 11th was Nick Lights. Ben Rhodes 12th. Andres Perez 13th. Cole Butcher 14th. Travis Pastrana 15th. 16th for Frankie Muniz. Daniel Dye in 17th. Clay Greenfield 18th. Minnie Tyrell in 19th. And Josh Reaume rounds out the top 20. 21st for Spencer Boyd, Justin Haley 22nd, Tanner Gray 23rd, Michael McDowell 24th, to Chris Wright 25th was the last truck to finish on the lead lap. Daniel Hemrick in 26th, Dawson Sutton 27th, and Taylor Gray 28th, all 1 lap down. 2 laps down for Grant Enfinger and Jason Kitzmiller 29th and 30th. 4 laps down, Lane Riggs in 31st, same for Jake Garcia and Jason M. White in 32nd and 33rd. 34th, Corey LaJoy, 10 laps down, 14 down for Carson Hocevar in 35th. Tony Stewart, and Cletus McFarland round out the field 36, 37. And that wraps up our Friday night of Truck Series action here from the Fresh from Florida 250 at Daytona. Wild finish, wild race, and a great way, I would say, to start the speed week, but we are already 3 days in. 2 days to go, 3 streams down, 3 to go. We'll be live for a doubleheader tomorrow afternoon, ARCA at noon Eastern, followed by the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race at 5, and Daytona 500 action at 1:30 p.m. Eastern as well on Sunday. Hope to see you for all of that and much more throughout the course of the season. Have a good rest of your Friday night, everybody. Good start to your weekend, and stay safe out there. See you soon.